I'm David Navarro.
And I'm Cameron Hall. Monday morning at 7, Mancow live on his sexier, racier version of the Rocky Horror Show.
Plus an inside look at the new Joe Millionaire Monday.
It's not over yet, but this is as close as it gets. Win one, and it is done. A single victory separates the Cubs from a future that once seemed impossible. Sammy says, get ready. The bubbly will flow today. The Marlins have their backs against the wall. Familiar territory for the comeback kids. They're clinging to hope like the ivy, grabbing onto the wall at Wrigley. Welcome inside the Fox Network Center. Jeannie Zelasco, along with Kevin Kennedy. Of course, Wrigley Field is exactly where the Marlins would like to return to and force a Game 6. That fight will wage on. But first, you know Florida's going to put up the fight, but nothing compares to the Saturday smackdown at Fenway. You tuned in for a classic, and it was historical for all the wrong reasons. Both teams calling for an investigation. Chris Myers has more.
Jeannie, we're live here at Fenway Park. It's stormy on a couple of fronts. We'll get to the weather in a moment. But moments ago, Commissioner Bud Selig releasing a statement saying he was very disappointed in some of the participants for what took place in last night's game. Bob Watson, after reviewing tapes, he's in charge of on-field discipline for Major League Baseball. After consulting with the umpires, has fined an undisclosed amount of money, fined Pedro Martinez and Manny Ramirez of the Red Sox, has also fined Kareem Garcia and Don Zimmer of the New York Yankees. No suspensions yet at this time. And Bob Watson also said the bullpen incident remains under review. So this coming more from the fourth inning incident, not what happened in the ninth inning. That incident is under review by the Boston police. No charges have been filed, but they are investigating Jeff Nelson and Garcia in that matter. As far as the rain, it's been raining all morning here in Boston. It has just let up. The field is covered and in good shape. They hope the front moves through by 6 o'clock, and they'll be able to play baseball another round in the Yankee-Red Sox rivalry. Jeannie?
All right, Chris, thank you. Let's hope it's a little kinder, a little gentler. This is the original in '99. Here's the rematch, Kevin.
So everybody knows Pedro Martinez is the best command in baseball. When he wants to hit somebody, he can do that, and he did yesterday. He started this thing hitting Garcia. Clemens did not respond. That ball was not inside. Manny took exception to it, and the melee would ensue.
Are you surprised by any of the announcements of the fines?
No, I think everything was right, and I'm just sorry for Don Zimmer going down right there. Pedro Martinez pushing him down, and, of course, the bullpen incident, that remains under review. I mean, this was just an ugly scene yesterday. It was a great matchup, a great ball game, but the Yankees came out the winner, and that's what Don Zimmer said. That's all he cares about. David Wells on the mound today can go up 3-1 with the win, but he doesn't like Fenway Park. However, he has won his last 5 in Fenway.
All right, it should be a good one. So back to the NLCS. Do the Cubs finally have history on their side? Not exactly, according to Jack McKeon. The Marlins manager can remember one team rallying, winning 3 straight to go on to the World Series. McKeon was general manager of the Padres, who did just that to the Cubs in 1984.
Our problem has been our starting pitching. We just haven't been getting the mileage out of it, unfortunately.
You got to close it out. That's what I was going to say. It's not over yet, big time. It feels better to be up 3-1 and down 3-1.
Yeah, but Sammy ready to close the door already.
Yes, he is, and he's happy. He's swinging the bat well in the LCS. He's got the power going, the short, compact swing. When Sammy Sosa does the hop, you know the ball is gone. There it is, 495 feet away. That's classic right there, Sammy Sosa. Couple of home runs, slugging percentage way over 700. More patient right now and getting it done.
All right, so he made the moves, but how about the moves the Cubs made in July?
Getting 3 former Pirates. Randall Simon's been huge, including a big home run the other night. How about the job Kenny Lofton has done? Getting on base, playing a great center field. When Corey Patterson went down for the Cubs, they needed a center fielder. This was the right guy. He's been absolutely phenomenal. And how about last night? Aramis Ramirez supplying the power that they hoped they would get. The first grand slam in postseason history for the Cubs, who would also hit another home run later on. They are on all cylinders right now.
Carlos Zambrano says, forget the secret game plan. You're going to see more sliders and more splitters.
Here's exactly right. Why? In game 1, he missed location with that fastball. He's trying to go down and away, missed middle in, long balls right there. Another one to Pudge Rodriguez. But when he's right, He's got the 94, 95 fastball and a devastating down and away hard slider. And as you said, that's what you're going to see today from Carlos Zambrano. Josh Beckett, the youngster, a big start for him. What happened to him in game one? The same thing. Trying to go middle in right there on Moises Alou. Leaves it over the heart of the plate. A long ball. 4 runs given up in the first inning, again, because he missed location. This guy's got too good of stuff, and he's going to need it today. 98 with the fastball. I mean, he's got a great fastball and a devastating 12-6 over-the-top hammer for a curveball. All the pressure is on Josh Beckett to put a 0 up there early. I mean, the Chicago Cubs have scored 11 runs in the first inning, while the Marlins have not scored at all. Beckett is the key. You got to put up zeros early and let the offense get going. What happened to Juan Pierre and Luis Castillo? They're hitting 200 combined. They're not getting it done, but it's more of a credit to Cub pitching.
Cubs close it out.
I think so. They're in all cylinders right now. No pressure at all on them. And you got Wood and Pryor in the wings.
All right, pick up the phone because you're going to have the chance to make your voice heard with Sprint Virtual Manager. Use your PCS Vision phone from Sprint or log on to foxsports.com to vote. We've got questions. I'm sure you got some answers. We need to take you out to a great ball game. It's a rematch on the mound, but Zambrano and Beckett re-enter a series far different from the one they left. World Series on the line next.
From executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
Why does it matter who our parents are?
Comes a provocative new series that critics are calling madly entertaining at every burning turn.
I want you.
His father is the district attorney.
Let's take him down.
Skin, the series premiere, Monday, October 20th on Fox.
The baseball playoffs are brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
Some people bring you news in short snapshots, but that's not what I'm about.
Could I just ask you one quick thing?
Really good stories take time.
Did you check the signature on that?
Take chances.
You were trespassing.
What are you doing?
And make you think.
You believe your conditions are sanitary?
Do I look at things differently? I hope so.
We are all going to have a bond together, somehow, some way.
Because you never bring the story into focus if you don't.
Mark Saxenmeyer, The Fox Focus, weeknights at 9.
Oh, I guess I finally have to admit it. I'm a two-timer. And I gotta get it off my chest. It's a guilty pleasure, I know. Cheating, lying.
Get off of me! Sorry is not good enough.
It's hard to keep my story straight.
We've agreed to mutual rubbing. Now it's just a matter of location.
But somebody's gotta do it, right?
Jerry Springer, weeknights at 5 on UPN Chicago. And weekdays at 11 on Fox Chicago.
Don't worry, Fox. I'll still love you in the morning.
Hey, where are you off to?
Some conference in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah? Who with?
With Cooper.
Cooper.
Who's naughty on this plane? This guy. How much do you make? Drink. Because it's not as much as I make, I'll tell you that much right now.
Sort by shortest flights. Another way Expedia makes it easy to find the trip you're looking for.
Expedia.com.
For over 50 years, Jack Benion's philosophy has remained the same. Make it right for the gambler. Jack Benion's Horseshoe Casino Hammond. In one word, legendary.
You were under Salazar for 6 months. I know what they did to you.
I didn't lose a year of my life to arrest some drug dealer. Are we clear?
Concerned about you, Jack. Things you did to get me here. It'll never be the same.
On October 28th.
Someone close to Salazar is demanding his release. If we don't comply, he's threatening to initiate an outbreak of a very deadly virus.
This kid's walking around with a bag of cocaine that's got the virus in it. We need to find him and stop him from putting it into circulation.
Chase, we got a runner!
The first wave of attack will be terror.
The damage to this country would be...
Ever notice that local news seems a little rushed? Every story kind of chopped up, cut into tidbits, leaving you empty and wanting more. The way I see it, you deserve a closer look, and I hope to bring that to you.
What did I get myself into?
Closer Look is about people.
So you think it's easy being an athlete? A sun-splashed Sunday afternoon in South Florida, and we welcome you to Game 5 of this National League Championship Series, where the Chicago Cubs in this best-of-7 have a commanding...
When the morning driving.
And a pleasant good afternoon to you. I'm Thom Brennaman, welcoming you to playoff baseball here on Fox. Is today the day we witness baseball history? More specifically, Chicago Cubs history. The last time that franchise was in the World Series, 1945.
58 years ago. They're 27 outs away from ending that long, long wait. Believe it or not, however, Steve Lyons, the Florida Marlins have shown up to play this Game 5. What do they do to try and win today?
Well, I think everybody knows that they have to pitch better, but for me, they have to put some more pressure on the Cubs offensively, and especially at the top of that lineup. Pierre and Castillo, during the regular season, hit over 300 between them. They stole 87 bases. They create problems when they get on. They put the pitcher in the stretch. They create holes in the infield, and they make guys make plays faster than they want to. During this series, they've hit below 200. They've stolen 3 bases. That has to change if they want to win.
Another thing that has to change the results of the starters in this game. They locked up in Game 1 Carlos Zambrano for the Cubs, Josh Beckett for the Florida Marlins. Al Leiter for these two guys. They certainly have to feel as though they can do much better than that.
No question about it. Both of these guys have to make an adjustment. I'm certain for the last 4 days they've looked at more tape of these opposing batters and haven't to realize that, in my opinion, right from the first inning, they have to throw off-speed stuff and pitch. Because in that first game, both of these guys out of the chute were primarily fastball pitchers, and it didn't get it done.
So the Florida Marlins are down 3-1. They'll try and get it turned around behind the young right-hander Josh Beckett. Game 5 coming up next. You're watching baseball on Fox.
Now this is big.
Now's the best time to buy wireless phones and accessories during the big sale at Radio Shack.
It's so big. It's
the LG VX6000 camera phone. Take, send, and personalize pictures. Just $149.99 after a $50 Radio Shack mail-in rebate.
It doesn't get any bigger than this.
The big sale at Radio Shack. You've got questions. We've got answers. And now, you could win World Series tickets for life. Hurry into Radio Shack for all the details.
You live a lot of your life between 0 and 55. No one understands that like your State Farm agent. That's why more people insure their cars with us than anyone else. Because we think car insurance should be as much about you as it is about your car.
When Taco Bell first created the Zesty Chicken Bowl, we thought we'd freshly prepare them right at your table. We still freshly prepare them, just not at your table. The Zesty Chicken Bowl, grilled all-white meat chicken, seasoned rice, cheese, crisp lettuce, and fiesta salsa. Made right when you order it, so it tastes even better. For fresh-made taste, think outside the bun.
Where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go? Where do we go now? Ba, 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 ba.
The powerful Nissan Altima, now with low 0.9% financing. Imagine how good it'll look in your driveway. The stylish Nissan Altima, now with 0.9% financing.
The League Championship Series on Fox, brought to you by Radio Shack, official sponsor of Major League Baseball, by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. By State Farm, providing insurance and financial services like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. And by Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones. Just a gorgeous late Sunday afternoon in Miami, and a crowd in excess once again of 65,000 plus on hand. Dusty Baker trying to get his team to a World Series for the second consecutive season. Of course, he did last so with the Giants. Cubs starting lineup brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Kenny Lofton in center. Mark Resolanik at second. Sammy Sosa in right. Moises Alou in left. The big hero last night, Aramis Ramirez at third. Randall Simon at first. Latter third of Alex Gonzalez. Paul Bacco and right-hander Carlos Zambrano. And they're facing the 23-year-old Spring, Texas native Josh Beckett.
2003 postseason numbers not all that good, but this is a guy that they really counted on down the stretch. Won 3 of 4 games down the stretch for this club. Curveball sets up the other pitches. That's what Al Leiter was talking about. These guys got their fastball whacked all over the place. Established something else. He's got 2 different fastballs he can throw. Also has an excellent changeup. When he gets ahead in the count, He has learned now, which was a problem for him before, to bounce that breaking ball and get guys to chase it instead of throwing it for a strike.
Beckett had a marvelous first postseason start in the division series, albeit a losing effort. He went 7 innings against the Giants, allowed 2 hits and 1 run, struck out 9. But then in game 1 of this series, as Steve talked about, 6 runs in 6 1/3 innings.
He went pitch for pitch with Jason Schmidt in that game. Outstanding ball game for both of them.
Kenny Lofton to lead things off. First pitch on the way. High fastball, and we are underway. As always, our game available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. If there has been a most valuable player so far in this series, Lofton would be it. A .500 batter. 9 hits and 18 at-bats. He has scored 7 runs. There's a good off-speed pitch right from the get-go from Josh Beckett. And he had Lofton way out in front, 1-2. The Cubs have scored in the opening inning in each of the first 4 games of this series. Gone swinging on a fastball. Take a look at the Marlins defensively. The second best defensive club in the National League during the regular season. Conine, Pierre, and again Cabrera, his second start at the big league level, and both coming here in the postseason. Mike Lowell, Alex Gonzalez, Luis Castillo, and Derek Lee, third to first, a battery of Beckett and Ivan Rodriguez. Up and into Mark Resolani. Crowd in it right from the get-go. They've got to be excited about the fact that they retired Kenny Lofton to start a game.
Yes, they are.
That has only happened one time, and that was in game 2 when he bounced out to the mound against Brad Penny.
If you are a Marlins fan out there, take this. The starting lineup for the Marlins today hit .338 against Zambrano in their careers. Cubs versus Beckett, as far as the starting lineup is concerned in today's ball game, hits just .216 against him in their careers. More than 65,000 people here again today, looking to send this series back to Chicago.
3-1 fastball. Resolani so far in the series, 4 hits and 19 at bats with a couple of runs batted in. The crowd we had here last night, a league championship series record, 65,829. Grounded to short. Gonzalez gets in front of it. Thrown in the dirt, but Lee able to get it.
That's pretty right there. This guy is so sweet defensively. Those are beautiful hands right there. Lets it go a little while, but who do you have down there? A guy that should win a gold glove at first base this season, Derek Lee. Not too many people have thought about him in that ilk. But boy, you talk to a lot of the members of not only the Cubs, certainly the members of the Marlins, and they'll say it's a joke if he doesn't win it. He has saved this infield a ton of errors.
Now slamming Sammy Sosa. He's hit 2 home runs in the series. 5 hits and 15 at-bats overall. And there you see what the Cubs have done in the opening inning. 11 runs they've scored. Zip for the Marlins. Beckett shaking off Pudge Rodriguez on the 0-1. Came with a fastball at 97 miles per hour.
Al, you said it was important for him to establish a breaking ball early, but to Sammy Sosa, they still believe he can't hit a good fastball, a good Beckett fastball. What do you do with him?
Well, he just threw that 97. You see the little shadow line right in the batter's box?
Yep.
Steve, you'll say that that's difficult. You're seeing 97 out in the sun, and then through the zone, it gets dark.
Look a little off there. That pitch at 88, 2-0. Sosa rolls over it. So how about that? First time in this series, the Cubs fail to score in their first at bat.
Dear Commissioner, Major League Baseball is great, but what if we let one lucky fan play catcher for the day?
Guest catcher for today, Jason Weinstein. Says here he's played a little T-ball. Doesn't look like he's grown much either. And that ball is driven deep. Quick rounds third. There's going to be a play at the plate. Ooh, just off the glove. Well, this will be a day he'll remember. No, he won't.
When it's you against tough pain, you can't play nice. You head straight for the Motrin IB. Motrin IB, for women who don't fool around with pain.
Wanna be a player? Monopoly Best Chance game starts Tuesday at McDonald's.
McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Happy Jack wasn't told, but he was a man. He lived in the sand at the Isle of Man. The kids would all sing, he would take the wrong key. So they rode on his head in their furry donkey. Jack in the water and they couldn't prevent Jack from being happy.
Carlos Zambrano gets a ball in Game 5, and here's a starting lineup under Jack McKeon. He'll be facing, brought to you by State Farm. Juan Pierre in center field, Luis Castillo at second, Ivan Rodriguez catching, Miguel Cabrera in right, Derek Lee at first, Mike Lowell at third, a Leiter third at Jeff Conine, Alex Gonzalez, and Josh Beckett. Ball one down low, a first pitch off speed pitch thrown by Zambrano to Juan Pierre. Zambrano, a 13-game winner during the regular season. He's made 2 postseason starts.
Those are the numbers in the postseason for the big Z-man. Look at the scouting report on him. Throws a big, heavy sinker, but if he's throwing 95, that thing straightens out. It's not a good thing for him. 94 on that pitch, 95. He gets up and around that area. As you know, Al, the ball straightens out. You don't want your sinker ball pitcher to be throwing that harder. You need to take some off to get the movement.
That's exactly right. And it's all about emotions and how you're feeling mentally, as opposed to trying to make the ball work. Just allow the grip to do the work. It's not overthrowing.
So much was made about Pierre and Castillo and their ability to get on base and to create problems for the pitcher out on the mound. In the wins, they've done just that. Stolen bases, scored runs. In the losses, not a single run scored by that duo. Alou runs down the fly ball and left, 1 away. The Cubs defensively have Moises Alou in left field, Kenny Lofton in center, Sammy Sosa in right, Ramirez and Gonzalez on the left side, Grzelcyk and Simon on the right, and a battery of Zambrano and Paul Bacco. Now Castillo, 3 of 16, but 0 for his last 11 here in the LCS. Zambrano, a native Venezuelan, 23 years young.
Well, that's one of the things that people forget to talk about when they talk about Zambrano and some of the struggles he has occasionally. The kid's just 23 years old. A lot to learn. You can remember, Al, your first few years in the big league, you burst onto the scene with the Yankees, and then injuries and inexperience took their toll on you before you really established yourself as a pitcher. How long did it take?
How long have I been playing?
Still trying to figure it out.
You never figure it out, but you're right. And it's, again, it's understanding and knowing yourself as a pitcher, in a case of a pitcher, and then growing from there. And it usually ends up between what you're thinking between your ears as to whether you succeed or not. Because it's not stuff. We've seen great arms, some of the greatest arms of the game right now in the National League, for sure, of these both of these staffs. You were talking about with a sinker ball pitcher, not only to not overthrow, but hitters try to have a sinker ball pitcher elevate.
Dropped into short right center field. Castillo with a one-out single.
It's a sinker. It's actually down. This is a good piece of hitting. Luis Castillo's done that an awful lot of times. Pesky guy who puts the ball in play. He's learned how to hit the ball on the ground. He can run. That's a great piece of hitting.
Not trying to do too much with that. Just drag the bat head through the hitting zone. He knows with his great speed, if he makes contact with the ball and he keeps it on the line or on the ground, he's got a great chance of getting a hit. A career-high 6 home runs this year. All of them from the right-hand side of the plate.
Now Pudge Rodriguez. Big hole on the right side, and they pitch him down and away. Ball 1. Rodriguez 6 of 17 in the series with a home run, 7 batted in. During the postseason, he has 13 runs batted in.
We're talking about release time. Zambrano's average time is about 1.44, which isn't great for a right-hander, where Beckett's at about a 1.12.
It's softly down the left field line and foul. Not by much. Lou is not going to get to it, even if it dropped fair.
And why does something like that matter? Well, you have a green runner, a guy who can run, and you have a hitter who's able to hit the ball the right side. So if Louis gets a good jump, not only is it a stolen base, but it's also opening a hole to the right side for Pudge to go through the second base hole.
See how close this one is down the line. Moises Alou giving chase, would not have gotten there, but remember, most of the outfield will be playing Rodriguez to hit the ball the other way, as he's done time and time and time again, and hurt not only the Giants in their first series, but the Cubs in this one as well.
Goes the other way in the air. Sammy backpedals, and in front of the wall makes a catch. 2 away. A lot of ballparks around baseball out. There's a big differential as to how a ball travels during the day as opposed to during the night. What was your experience in this ballpark?
I thought it was, and it is, a very good pitcher's park, so long as you can keep it from gap to gap. They call it the triangle, the Bermuda Triangle out there in left center. But with humidity, I'm not a scientist, but with molecules and expansion of air, it definitely drags the ball.
Well, I don't know much, but I know one thing for sure. That is the first time the word molecule has ever been used in a booth, Steve, where you and I were sitting.
What does it mean?
Sounds good.
It sounded really good.
You know, actually, Bobby Valentine could go into some long explanation as to why humidity and light air, and way scientific for me. But it makes sense.
Is there a strike to Miguel Cabrera? Cabrera moved up to the number 4 hole, flip-flopping the lineup. Jack McKeon. Derek Lee has been there throughout the entire series. Cabrera 7 of 18 in this LCS with a couple of home runs.
See him peeking there? He's looking clearly at the sign. He takes a short lead knowing that Zambrano's not going to throw over. If the pitcher knows this, if the pitcher has an idea that he's peeking there, that's a great opportunity while Zambrano is getting the sign. He knows Zambrano's looking, so he's looking. It's a great way to try to get him napping. If nothing else, he won't do this. Look at his eyes. All right, he's looking. He has no regard for Zambrano right now. If that's a breaking ball he sees, because the catcher's only put one sign down, he's going to get a great jump.
Toughest part is it's so hard to see the signs. You know, Paul Bacco's going to try to hide them.
Swung on and missed. And Zambrano showing the emotion that he said he would try to harness as the season came to an end. But a solid opening inning.
Good morning, Patty. Good morning, Miss Park.
I
5.3-liter V8 would be nice. Some leather would be good.
Some leather would be good.
A sound system that only plays Vivaldi. Nah. The interior should be really quiet. Should ride like it's gliding on air. Give me everything we've ever learned about building fine automobiles. Well, that's a lot to fit in a car. Who says it's got to be a car?
Introducing Rainier. It's a brand new Buick.
I received this wedding gift from my husband's aunt, but I don't need a monkey lamp. I was extremely torn. I didn't know whether I should just keep the lamp or return it and risk hurting her feelings. So I asked myself, what would Jared do?
I would return the lamp. She really just wants you to be happy. Then I'd get a red wine vinaigrette club.
So, where's the lamp?
The Red Wine Vinaigrette Club from Subway. Eat fresh.
Today, more than 250,000 doctors and 75 million patients are redefining modern medicine with WebMD. Practices can attend to the business of medicine with new speed and efficiency. Doctors can continue their medical education without leaving their offices. Patients can monitor their own progress. In countless ways, WebMD is helping doctors and patients to reconnect, and in the process, helping to redefine modern medicine. WebMD, modern medicine.
Now enjoy Guinness anywhere. Drink authentic Guinness draft straight from the bottle.
I was running in the street in San Pedro, and now I'm wake up in the major leagues. I play hard every day because this is the way that we play in my country. I never would dream that I would be playing at major league level. Playing regular feels like, wow, it's like another dream come true. I lived for this.
Watch the World Series on Fox beginning October 18th. Don't miss it.
Monday, October 20th, Fox will introduce a real American cowboy to a group of European women.
Oh, he's good looking.
Convince them he's worth $80 million in oil.
I'm sure I'm gonna like this lifestyle.
And invite them to win his heart.
He's rich. He's filthy rich.
Does anyone know how to say sucker in French?
Good money, baby.
The next Joe Millionaire. Diplomats are standing by. Premieres Monday, October 20th on Fox.
Josh Beckett set to go here in the top half of the second inning after a 1-2-3 opening frame. He'll face Alou, Ramirez, and Randall Simon. Alou 5 of 18 in the series with a home run and 3 runs batted in.
That home run came off of Josh Beckett. There's the sideways stance.
Now you talked a great deal about Josh Beckett and Carlos Zambrano making adjustments. We saw fastball after fastball after fastball from both of these guys, especially so in the opening inning of Game 1. Beckett gave up 4 runs in that first inning of Game 1. Walk to Lofton, a triple to scoring by Grzelcyk. The 2-run home run Steve alluded to by Alou. A triple to Ramirez and an RBI double by Gonzalez. And right from the get-go, we have seen Beckett feature a lot more than just the fastball here today. Breaking ball, strike 3 call. Let's go back to the first inning.
It's exactly in the open saying that these guys look at a lot of tape. We have access to so much of this stuff to see where we fail or what we did well. This is a changeup where he struck out Lofton in the first inning. You see that down the way movement with great arm speed, looks just like a fastball. To end the inning in the first, here's a changeup again on the outside part of the plate. Beckett does that today. It's going to be an awfully tough time for these Cub hitters to hit.
That is a 90-mile-an-hour changeup, which is unbelievable.
I was getting ready. You took the words right out of my mouth, Steve. When's the last time you said 90 miles per hour was a changeup?
Jason Schmidt, maybe. There's a big breaking ball. We talked about Beckett doing a lot better job. Look at the big overhand spin of the breaking ball. Nasty break, unhittable. Alou just has to tip his cap on that one and sit down. Hey, talked to a lot of Arizona Diamondback hitters, and they would say it was so tough to face Jason Schmidt because he'd throw 98, and then his his changeup would be 90 miles an hour. Mark Redmond's fastball's 86.
One and one on Ramirez, who hit a pair of home runs in a game here last night.
So for me, this is great stuff. Here's a guy with some of the best stuff.
As we look at the grand slam in the first inning off the bat of Ramirez from last night's game, and then he tacked on a solo shot in the 7th against Nate Bump, knocking in 6 runs to tie an LCS record.
Best fastballs. He's on his 18th pitch. He's thrown 9 off-speed pitches, unlike the first inning. Here's a guy who could reach back and throw it. 95, 96, 97. Plus fastball. He's still pitching.
Is there a big enough differential between the 96-mile-an-hour fastball and a 90-mile-an-hour changeup? Would you like to see him take more off of the change?
Not if it alters his arm speed. You know, as a hitter, if you can maintain the same arm speed and have it look exactly like your fastball, that's plenty, 7 miles.
I think that's what people have to understand about a change and why we talk about the grip of a change. Really, all they're trying to do is be able to throw the ball as hard as they can, but take some miles an hour off of it.
Bounces up there. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Aramis Ramirez.
Talk about all the different changeup grips that are out there. The circle change has been very popular. Palm balls. Guys are just trying to find a way to keep their arm speed, throwing their arm speed as fast as they do when they throw the fastball, but taking some miles an hour off of the pitch.
That one slipped out of his hand, and Ramirez ducks underneath it. Ball 4. First base runner against Beckett for the Cubs today. It's time to take a look at our Sprint Virtual Manager question. Which World Series would you like to see most? Cubs Yankees, Cubs Boston, Marlins Yankees, or Marlins Boston? To answer the question, use your PCS Vision phone from Sprint or log on to foxsports.com, keyword MLB on Fox. Now, we can't answer that question, right?
Well, technically, I know what a lot of people out there will answer.
Well, we talked about it, and what you're alluding to, Steve, is that the Cubs have not won a World Series since 1908. Boston has not won a World Series since 1918. So a lot of people would like to see those 2 teams meet. The argument can be made that if they locked up in the World Series and we got to Game 7, Armageddon would arrive.
Yeah, the end of the world.
Back-to-back changeups. Changeup in the dirt. Maybe a questionable call there. Pudge is setting up outside. If Pudge is setting up down the middle, that's a strike. Umpires should call the ball over the plate, not where he catches. That's a good call.
Larry
That's a hard thing to do, though. You're so far behind the plate.
Simon lifts a fly ball into right field. He had the big home run here in Game 3 for right field. So this one playable for Cabrera. Starting to say Larry Poncino is the home plate umpire here today. 2 away in the inning. Look at the rest of the umpiring crew. The crew chief out at second base today, feeling much better after leaving Game 1. Jerry Crawford.
I won't be beating this the whole game, but because of what Beckett is doing early, it is important. He's thrown 30% of his pitches change-ups, and he's thrown 97 miles an hour. For all you kids out there, it doesn't matter how hard you throw. You have to change speeds, offset the timing of the hitter. He's doing it.
Fastball popped up in the foul ground. Lowell's got it. We go to the bottom of the second inning. No score.
Check this out. I'm sitting next to your new boyfriend. Don't you just love your new boyfriend?
I do love him.
As long as you're happy.
Picture
Picture mail that talks from Sprint. At Sprint stores, choose from a wide selection of picture phones starting at $99.99. Share it when it happens.
Let's see, I bought yellow pencils, yellow Post-it notes, yellow boxers. Yellow boxers.
$14.
Land courier, air courier, pedicure, reader.
$137.
2 printers, 2 scanners, 2 tutus.
$540. Keeping business expenses separate from personal expenses? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Apply online for the MasterCard Business Card.
Welcome to HP Digital Photography. HP. Invent.
The League Championship Series on Fox is brought to you by Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones. By MasterCard, there are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. By Motrin, for moms who don't fool around with pain. And by HP Technology, services, and people. Help make more things more possible. Last of the second inning, Game 5 of this National League Championship Series. No score. Derek Lee only 3 hits and 18 at-bats during the LCS. Moved out of that cleanup spot for this Game 5 and dropped to the number 5 hole in the batting order.
Lee's kind of a streaky hitter. One of those guys that down the stretch when they were fighting for that wild card berth, this was the guy that flat out carried this team for the last month of the season. Has kind of gone away in this playoff series. He needs to get on track as well, especially hitting now in front of Mike Lowell. Lowell can put some things together. His lineup can get on base and start swinging the bats through the middle. It could cause some problems.
3-0 fastball in there, a strike. Since the LCS went to a best-of-7 format in 1985, 21 teams have had a 3-games-to-1 lead in the series. Only 3 of the 21 teams that trailed 3-1 have been able to come back and win the series. The 85 Royals, the 86 Red Sox, and the 96 Atlanta Braves.
Yep.
There's strike 3 call. It's been a very generous strike zone in favor of the pitcher early on by Larry Poncino. Lee would concur with that.
Well, I am a pitcher, and there are knees. Yeah, there are knees, but they're not at your ankles. That's ball 4 right there. And I don't say that very often. Well, you're talking about a leadoff hitter on a team that has struggled to score runs and get on the board early, try to get this crowd in their favor and keep them there. That's what Dusty Baker has said every day when we've gone in there. Get on the board first and either keep your home crowd in it or take the visiting crowd out of it. And they have been able to do that.
Dusty was asked a question before the game, are you excited? And he said, well, yeah, there's a part of me that's excited. I know what we could do today. He said, but I am not going to lose sight of the fact that this series is not over. Lowell grounds out to away in the inning. Dusty's hitting coach, Gary Matthews, very outspoken before the game today, recalling 1984. When Matthews played for the Cubs, they had a 2-games-to-none lead and then a best-of-5 league championship series. Won the first 2 at Wrigley Field. Got on the plane feeling good about themselves on their way to San Diego. They did not feel well after dropping 3 in a row on the flight home. Ball 1 to Jeff Conine.
Gary Matthews said they were sitting in a coaches meeting late in the season when the Cubs were trailing in the division by 4 games. Dusty started the meeting off by saying, "We got him right where we want him." Matthews said he about fell off his chair laughing, had to go out of the room. He said, "What is he talking about?" He was right.
2-1 to Conine. Jeff 6 hits and 16 at bats in the series with 1 run batted in. Zambrano is certainly taking advantage of this strike zone very early on by Larry Poncino, or right now he could be in a world of hurt, because he has been all over the place so far in this 2nd inning. Good slider there that Conine fouled straight back.
He's reminding me a little bit of Dontrell Willis from yesterday's ball game, getting the ball and then throwing it, although he's having a lot better success.
Borderline pitch there. Zambrano wanted it. Ball 4. First walk issued by the Cub right-hander.
Tried to go back to the same pitch that he struck Derek Lee out with. Kind of a comeback tailing fastball on the outer half of the plate. Try to get it to come back and nip the outside part of the plate.
Two-seam grip. It's a sinking fastball. That's what he mostly throws. He wants it actually to come back over the plate. Looked like a good call.
Didn't quite get it to do it.
See in between the seams there? That's a two-seamer, which is a sinker.
Now Alex Gonzalez with 1 on and 2 out. Ball 1 down low. Alex 2 of 13 in the series with a couple of runs batted in. It's been a rough postseason for Gonzalez altogether. Just 3 hits in 29 at bat. Well, these 2 guys can rush it up there, can't they? Zambrano and Beckett. Every fastball in the mid to upper 90s so far.
Moving. That's a moving, sinking, darting fastball in on the righty. That's awfully tough to hit.
Gonzalez would have been considered arguably the first half of this season the Florida Marlins most valuable player. Got off to such a great start offensively, had career highs in home runs and RBIs. 18 homers this year. Drove in 77. Has slumped in the back half. Got too big with his swing. Lunges too often.
Well, that was pretty much the book on him earlier in his career, where he was always a very good fastball hitter. When you tease him with enough fastballs like he's doing now, chasing the high fastball, and you could get him out with the breaking ball. But earlier in the year, he was hitting the breaking ball.
Foul out of play, first base side. We'll do it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Let's take a look if this illustrates what we're talking about. See how his swing is. We talk a lot about balance at the plate. We'll see how his balance is. If we stop it at the point of contact, not bad on that swing. If you draw a line right through the back, his problem is he generally gets his top half out here a little bit. Hitting against that stiff front leg is excellent.
With that pitch being an off-speed pitch, too, you'd think he'd be out in front.
Off the shoe of Zambrano. Now that is the quintessential kick save.
And a beauty.
Do you have the right truck?
Hi, black coffee to go.
Does your truck have better resale value than Ford and Dodge? A Silverado half-ton pickup does.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, is this your truck? What's it going for?
What do you mean, what's it going for?
Let me make you an offer.
It's not for sale.
What do you mean here? It's for sale.
It's not for sale.
Silverado, it's the right truck from Chevy.
Try to remember these 3 letters. Those 3 letters we just showed you, they represent over $600 billion in assets. They stand for the 3rd largest public company in the world, an organization that provides financial stability for 40 million customers. Did you remember those 3 letters? For crying out loud. AIG. Insurance, loans, retirement. We know money.
What you seeing didn't start with LL today. Take it from me. Run DMC paved the way with Jam Master J. The KINGs. Run D and Dr. Pepper. That's originality. The taste of Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper. The taste of originality. Salutes individuality. Individual. Gives life personality. Be you. Do what you do. Be you. Be you. Nothing better than Dr. Pepper. Run DMC and Jam Dr. Pepper.
What can a pitching machine teach us about financial advisors? Working with one can leave you better prepared. At Wachovia Securities, we learn from the world around us and provide financial advice for whatever comes your way. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. Wachovia Securities.
It began last summer.
We want you to be a part of the family.
America loved it, and the critics agreed.
California.
Now, TV's new It Show is back.
I would never do anything to hurt Marissa.
You're not going to get the chance because you're never going to see her again.
The OC, all new, Wednesday, October 29th on Fox.
A lot of Cub fans have turned out here in South Florida after showing up in big numbers at Turner Field in Atlanta during the division series. They've enjoyed both trips in Atlanta and here in South Florida so far. Of course, the Cubs advanced by beating the Braves Game 5 of that series at Turner Field with Kerry Wood on the mound, and they've won the first 2 games down here. Told you earlier, the Marlins have not lost 3 consecutive home games since May, and Jack McKeon wasn't even the manager yet, while Jeff Torborg was still the skipper of these Florida Marlins.
Cub fans have had an easier time getting tickets in both Atlanta and Florida than they can at Wrigley. This place seats nearly twice as many fans.
0-2 to Baco. That's big league fastball right there. Strike 3.
Beckett's got it working. So far in this ball game, it's a different guy.
I'd like to remind you, coming up next, it'll be Game 4 of the American League Championship Series. The Yankees in front 2-1 after all the chaos that took place at Fenway Park yesterday. You don't want to miss Game 4 tonight. John Burkett on the mound for Boston against David Wells. Sports' biggest month of the year continues next, only on Fox. 0-1 to Zambrano. Hit a couple of home runs during the regular season.
A switch hitter. He hit one from each side of the plate. I don't know if he's going to catch up with that kind of cheese right there, though.
I know he's pitching well right now, but it just looks like he's calm and he's smooth and it's just effortless. And it helps that you come out of the chute throwing up a couple goose eggs.
Well, you know how it goes. I mean, you've been in that spot. He looks like a guy that has walked out there today like he owns a place.
They got to remember, too, in Game 1, after that first inning where they scored 4 runs, he did own the place. Did settle down and pitch the way he's pitching right now.
Back-to-back strikeouts here in the third, 4 now in the game. Speaking of strikeouts, today the 6th-year anniversary of Livan Hernandez beating Greg Maddux and the Braves in '97 when he struck out 15 batters.
Thank you, Eric Gregg.
Talking about his motion, just smooth, slow. Your velocity comes at the end, and he throws it at the end, meaning through the zone after you release the ball. There was a reason why in 1999 he was the 2nd pick overall out of Spring, Texas.
Josh Beckett, the USA Today High School Pitcher of the Year that year.
Yeah, we keep talking about Pryor and Wood, and they're great, and they're going to be great. And Josh Beckett is very similar. He was out of high school, learning through the minor leagues. Didn't go off to college. Like prior.
Zambrano, Clement, Brad Penny, all those guys, every one of them under 30, all with bright futures.
And then the guy we talked a great deal about last night, of course, A.J. Burnett. We flash back to 1999, Spring High School in Spring, Texas. The #1 high school prospect in the country by Baseball America. And as Al mentioned, the 2nd overall pick in the June '99 free agent draft.
And the best start that these Marlins have came from a guy named Mark Redmond, who can barely break a window when he throws at it, and he was dazzling.
On the ground. And Beckett has gone through the first 3 innings and has not allowed a base hit. Now Zambrano's turn to try and answer.
Sweetheart, I miss you.
Miss you too.
What did you do today?
I played soccer.
Did?
For your most important calls, reach out on the wireless service America trusts. AT&T Wireless.
I remember the song, the commercial with the Candy Man. They sang the Candy Man can, the Candy Man can. It makes the world taste good. Okay.
Now through Monday, Zales is having a diamond sale with savings up to 60% and more throughout the entire store. Like this 8-carat bracelet, just $7.99. Our lowest price ever. Quantities are limited at Zales, the diamond store.
This fall, Bristol-Myers Squibb, the cancer community, and I will come together for a very special campaign called the Tour of Hope. We want to raise awareness of clinical trials and let people know that cancer research is worth the ride. I've had this relationship with Bristol-Myers Squibb for years now because if it wasn't for BMS drugs, I just would not be sitting here today. Together, we can speed the search for a cure.
Follow the Bristol-Myers Squibb Tour of Hope team and Lance Armstrong in this historic ride. Find out more by visiting our website.
Someone's threatening to initiate an outbreak of a very deadly virus.
To stop a weapon that has no cure.
They found a body that's been infected.
You need a man who knows no limits.
Just do it now!
The season premiere of 24, Tuesday, October 28th.
Marlins bat last half of the 3rd inning. Josh Beckett to lead things off against Carlos Zambrano. We are scoreless. Beckett 7 of 46 as a hitter during the regular season. Had 3 runs batted in, a pair of doubles. On the ground, slowly hit to Gonzalez. And he will throw out Beckett. We sat down with 72-year-old skipper Jack McKeon and asked him what he has seen so far in this series.
You know, you got to give credit to the Cubs pitching. They pitched pretty good to our hitters, and you know, in the postseason, you know, you don't know what's going to happen, and sometimes you see a lot of guys trying to do too much. I see a couple of our, especially our front guys, trying to do too much. I mean, they're trying too hard, and they just got to sit back and relax and do their thing and have fun again.
Well, they've got to feel much better about the way things are going here, even though they haven't scored. By the simple fact that the Cubs at this point in a game have yet to score. After scoring in each of the first 4 games of this series in the 1st inning.
In the first 3 innings of the games that we've played so far, the Cubs had scored 20 runs. The Marlins had scored 19 runs in the entire series.
And 9 of those came in 1 game.
Yeah. Cubs could play the first 3 and go home.
finish, kind of what McKeon was saying, for guys, hitters to relax and have fun in a situation like this, 0-0 is pretty easy. But when you're down 4-0 and 5-0, the mindset as a hitter, you're trying to get that 5-run homer. You're trying to figure out a way, how are we going to get back into this game when you're down so badly?
Slapped into left field, a base hit by Pierre.
Now for a left-handed hitter, Pierre's a pretty darn good high ball hitter. You want to get Zambrano to elevate his pitches. When they're up, they don't sink as well. Nice balance, just going the other way. Really good bottom hand through that zone. Pulling the bat head through, slapping the ball over the shortstop's head. Now, this is where they can cause some trouble.
Pierre led the major league 65 stolen bases during the regular season. High and away, ball one. So far in this series, Juan has 1 stolen base. He's been thrown out twice.
Miller got him yesterday. Pierre stole 65 bases on the season. The Cubs, as a team, stole 73.
Pierre doesn't care what the sign is.
He starts on the pitch, and Castillo bounces out. So they put on perhaps the hit and run. You would assume that by Castillo's swing in the back.
This is the hardest for a defense to determine who should cover the base on this, because Pierre runs so well. If it's a guy who doesn't run well, if you're assuming the guy's stealing, you think it's a hit and run, you'd cross up, which is what they did. Normally on a steal, the shortstop would cover the bag there. But because Zambrano throws hard and Castillo hits the ball the other way all the time, they decided to switch up and had the second baseman cover the bag. And that way Gonzalez stays home for the ground ball that gets hit to him.
First runner for either team getting into scoring position. And Rodriguez has been the Marlins' best run producer during the postseason. 13 RBIs so far. Breaking ball away, and where he has done most of the damage, as Al has talked about, as Steve has talked about, that fastball particularly on the outside part of the plate, just shooting it the other way to knock in runs. And Grzelcyk is cheating a little bit, trying to keep Pierre close.
Look where Simon is. That's way off the line. Exactly what Tom's talking about. Trying to give up that hole between the first and second baseman. Cutting the hole down.
That is exactly because Grzelcyk's the guy that's got to hold Pierre. He doesn't care that much about him with 2 outs. Pierre will score on any ball that gets to the outfield. That's why Rodriguez does not have to worry about jolting one into a gap and hitting a double. The outfield arms of the Cubs are not strong. This infield and the outfield play is very quick. The ball will get to the outfielders much quicker in this stadium. But Pierre can fly. You're not throwing him out.
Breaking ball, a good one on the outside corner to even the count.
Pudge has seen 5 pitches. 4 of them are sliders.
They got tired of that fastball on the outer half that he's been whacking all over the place.
They haven't come in a whole lot yet. There we go.
Fastball up at 95. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This fastball in, 2-seamer, sinker, riding inside. Just tied him up. You can go 2 ways. Go back in or the slider down the way. You probably go slider down the way.
Yeah. Off the plate.
Changeup.
Throw down to second base. Pierre saw it coming all the way. 2-2 on Pudge Rodriguez. Signed a 1-year, $10 million contract with the Marlins 3 weeks before the start of spring training. After 12 years, 10 of them as an all-star with the Texas Rangers. 4th in the National League with runners in scoring position. He hit .375.
One of the reasons he signed down here is because he and his wife built their dream house here in South Florida. Lives in a neighborhood a few doors away from J-Lo, Enrique Iglesias in the neighborhood, Ricky Martin. That's a neighborhood.
Fastball up and in. Rodriguez's numbers in the postseason with runners in scoring position have been beyond belief, especially with 2 men out. 4 hits in 5 at-bats with 5 runs batted in, and that is the situation right here and right now.
If Pudge is a guess hitter based on everything they've done to him and the success he's had with a fastball away and how many sliders he's seen, the pitch for me is a fastball in. You don't want Pudge to beat you.
You don't want Cabrera next.
Bouncing ball foul.
I think normally he's in a situation where he can throw that slider off the plate and try to get Pudge to chase it. But if he misses and Pudge shows you discipline, you have the most disciplined hitter that they have in their lineup coming up next. Got to throw him a strike regardless of where you go. I think you have to challenge him here a little more than running the ball off the plate and hoping that he swings at it.
Slider away, and Rodriguez with a good at-bat draws a walk.
Didn't bite. See, I'm good with that. Because Pudge, to me, if you're facing this lineup, I'm saying Pudge can't beat me. Cabrera's a heck of a hitter. Pudge is the guy that's not going to beat me. Here's a slider off the plate. Slider, good slider break. Fastball in. Pudge was mad he missed it. That was a split. It wasn't a change. It was a split. High fastball. That's the pitch he wanted to nail. Slider, he fights it off. I think Pudge was looking in there. Good at bat, Pudge. He could have chased. It's a heck of a bat. And I like the call.
I'm just not so sure I want this guy right now. He's given me the best at-bats that we've seen in this lineup all season, all series long, and the kid's 20 years old.
Slider down and away.
So if you were pitching against this lineup and you do the Tom Seaver adage of he picks one guy in the lineup not to beat you, you would pitch to Pudge, and Cabrera is the guy in this lineup tonight that you're not going to let beat you.
Only in that situation right there, because I don't want Cabrera up with 2 guys on base. I have to challenge Rodriguez with just 1.
Both runners are going to advance right between the legs of Paul Baco.
That's not terrible, and nothing against Derek Lee, because he wears out an awful lot of people. But what you're going along with, as good as Cabrera has been, he has an open base. And in a game like this, the way Beckett is throwing, a run isn't just a run, it could be a loss, even this early in the game.
See now what the Cubs elect to do with Cabrera. With what Steve and Al were just talking about, Lee has struggled terribly in this series, and you have a base open. With a number up the first base line, foul ball. Cubs got that 4-0 lead in game 1 of this series, but then the Marlins stormed back, hitting 3 home runs in a 5-run third, one of them to tie the game by Cabrera. The very next batter, Juan Encarnacion, gave the Marlins a 1-run lead. You're talking about a guy who allowed 3 homers in 1 inning after allowing 9 home runs all year in 214 innings.
Cabrera has shown that he's been a better hitter with 2 strikes, very comfortable in that situation.
I don't know how comfortable he is right now.
He's hurting. Watch him. Oh, he did rub it. He's young. He rubbed it a little bit. You don't do that, do you, Al?
Never been hit. Come to think of it, I never get a hit.
That's showing everybody it hurts. Yeah, he's young. Right off the elbow. Most guys are crying inside, but they'll go down to the base. They'll stand on first base. They will not rub it. They're not going to let anybody else know that it hurts.
So the base is loaded for the emotional Carlos Zambrano. Larry Rothschild out to visit. We talked to Zambrano's catcher Paul Bacco about his talented right-hander today.
He just needs somebody to support him. You know, I mean, he's a tremendously emotional guy when he's out there, and when he's going great, you know, it's awesome. But he kind of gets down on himself, which he shouldn't, because he's got great stuff and he's a great pitcher. And as long as he stays positive out there, he should be fine.
So now they're loaded up. Where Zambrano and Cabrera are buddies. I mean, they go way back growing up together in Venezuela. So there's no way that he was trying to hit his longtime friend.
They're neighbors.
They are loaded for Derek Lee. He needs a hit in the worst sort of way. His team needs a hit in the worst sort of way. And he got a pitch to hit right there.
That's when you're going just a little bit bad. You're just a little bit off. You get the one pitch in the at-bat that you should crush, and you foul it straight back. That is a great swing. Just not being able to square it up. I think Zambrano knows he got away with one right there. He's saying, I cannot throw that pitch in that location again.
Comes right back with a fastball and fouled away by Lee, and Zambrano in front 1-2.
Lee has hit the ball hard a couple times in this series and come up empty.
On the ground to short. The first play will end the inning. One hit, 3 men left. The Marlins have already stranded 5.
Have the right truck. The 2004 Chevy Silverado, now available with power packs. Get this Silverado extended cab with a light duty power pack, Vortec V8 heavy duty trailering, plus the safe and sound power pack, bucket seats, Bose sound system, and more. Combine power pack savings with cash back for a total value of $4,500 on select models. Silverado now available with power packs. It's the right truck.
Life got simple the day I plugged into the big brown machine. West Coast overnight, done. China, 48 hours, done. Brown picks it all up together and delivers it all on time. And with their global tracking system, I get the proof. It isn't that I'm not a trusting person. Yes, it is.
International Overnight Ground. Synchronized. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
E-server for music.
E-server for news.
E-server for science. E-server for stews.
E-server has blades, and it's stackable, too.
You need more, you get more. It's all up to you. E-server can work with your software at hand.
E-server will give what you want on demand.
From heifers to hogs, there's no task too tough. They're smart, fast, and scalable, all that good stuff.
They're flexible, bendable, super reliable, utterly viable.
Give them a triable.
IBM E-server X Series features the Intel Xeon processor.
Want to be a player? Monopoly Best Chance game starts Tuesday at McDonald's.
McDonald's. I'm loving it.
It's television's most frightening event. When Homer becomes the Grim Reaper.
These seats suck.
Leave everything to me. Pardon me, coming through. Rest in peace. You're dead. Take a dirt nap. Feed the worms.
All new Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, Sunday, November 2nd on Fox.
The League Championship Series on Fox brought to you by Chevy Silverado. It's a white truck. By AT&T Wireless. Go to the game alone and take all your friends with you. Reach out on the wireless service America Trust. AT&T Wireless. By IBM, taking business to the next level with e-business on demand. And by UPS, what can Brown do for you? High above, our aerial coverage of today's game and the surrounding Miami area being provided by the Saturn Lightship. Saturn and its retailers hope you're enjoying the National League Championship Series. The Cubs lead this best-of-7 series 3-1. No score here in Game 5 as we open the 4th inning. Man, is Beckett throwing hard.
When you look at what happened for the Cubs this season, people will talk a lot about the late season acquisitions made by Jim Hendry from those Pittsburgh Pirates. When you look at Lofton, Ramirez, Simon, the job that they did. But I think a lot of Cub fans would tell you that this team does not make the playoffs without that man right there, Grzelcyk and Eric Karros, who were the cast-offs really from the LA Dodgers in a move that they made for Hunley.
Breaking ball swung on and missed. 5 strikeouts for Josh Beckett. At Kendall's in Chicago, and we'll be taking a peek in there all day long.
Can we order from there too?
It's a very good question. Sosa had thoughts about coming out to the mound after being knocked down on that fastball up and in. And Beckett saying, here I am. Walking all the way down in front of the plate is Beckett. Now he's walking over towards Sosa again. Rodriguez ought to come over, and Beckett came to get the ball.
He
said,
did.
Give me the ball.
In case I need it.
Sosa obviously upset here because it was up around his head.
And Rodriguez is doing a great job at diffusing the situation here. Pudge is saying, no way are we trying to hit you, Sammy. The game's way too important. That ball just got away. Sammy overreacted a little bit. Get out of the way.
I see the grip here because it had like a two-seam running fastball look to it, because Pudge was setting up down the middle. That's a two-seamer. Look, here's a young kid who throws the ball hard. If anybody's ever stood on a mound 60 feet 6 inches and tried to throw the ball over the plate, let alone throw for a corner, it's not that easy. I'm not saying that you should ever throw for a guy's neck or head. It's not that easy, and he's not trying to hit him in the head.
Comes right back with another fastball, and that one at 98.
And the swing was 98.
If Pudge is setting up middle or outer half the way he was, and he held a two-seamer, and he throws the heck out of it, that's what happens. Your body leaks, your hand's behind the ball, and the ball will run.
And what's wrong with running a ball inside every once in a while? You got to pitch.
And he came right back.
I love this.
Back-to-back fastballs as if to say, here it is.
But I also wonder, here's Beckett, who's thrown a heck of a game so far. You got Sammy Sosa, one of the greatest hitters, future Hall of Famer, fastball right by him. Is he kind of doing a little bit to intimidate the young kid?
And Beckett saying, I ain't intimidated, and here it comes again.
Well, we're in South Florida. A little Sosa thrown into this series for the first time with that fastball up and into Sosa. And now a 2-2 pitch from the breaking ball a moment ago. We'll see here. Country hard ball, triple digits, 100-mile-per-hour fastball.
I'm just wondering who got fired up more on this little altercation. He hasn't thrown a ball over 97 until this at bat.
But Al, quickly, the way Beckett's thrown in the game so far, is this a good thing for him right now to maybe be getting a little amped?
Good point. Maybe not.
Maybe for one hitter. We talked all along that they don't think he can hit a good fastball.
Great point, Tom. Start overthrowing, get all jacked up. I'm going to throw it harder. That's not how he got to 3 scoreless into this inning with no hits. It was pitching. Somebody will calm him down. Pudge is smart enough to run out there and tell him.
He likes to throw 3-2 breaking balls.
He does, and Sammy gone looking.
Here's a pitch sequence. Fastball up and in. I don't believe he did that on purpose. Good pitch. Sammy just missed it. Good rip. Right down the middle. Here it is. Hit it. Curveball, which is slower. Gets him out in front. Sammy emergency hack. High fastball. He's throwing it. 3-2 changeup. That's a changeup right there, and he threw it. That's a great pitch. Sammy right there was begging, hoping that Larry didn't call it a strike.
Well, you're getting a look today at the Josh Beckett. The same Josh Beckett that showed up in Game 1 of the National League Division Series against the Giants when he allowed 2 hits and 1 run in 7 innings. But he's more on top of his game even than that start here today. In that game, he punched out 9. He has 6 already today.
And that's classic right there, why it was okay for him to try to blow fastballs past Sosa, because he's come right back and threw a changeup there to Moises Alou, right back to the game that got him this far so far.
Got Sammy fired up, that's for sure.
And you know what? I mean, hey, love to watch Sammy come to the plate, and I don't want to see a ball up around anybody's head. That ball was a little further away from Sammy than maybe he thought.
On the ground to Gonzalez. In the dirt, snatched out of there by Lee.
But if you're Josh Beckett, you still have to be able to pitch inside to be effective.
Expects a report in 1 hour, but it's a gorgeous 74 degrees outside. So you handle it like a true professional. With a laptop powered by Centrino, Intel's mobile technology, you can work wirelessly in thousands of places, even Bryant Park, under your favorite tree. Intel Centrino mobile technology.
Spicy garlic shrimp, fire grilled chicken, and our famous baby back ribs. Chili's Fajita Trio. Want more flavor? Yeah.
Program in the first, $4.
Summer wind.
Snacks in the fourth, $25.
From across the sea.
A soda at the end of the seventh, $3.
It lingered there.
Friday night, no TV, DVDs, or video games. Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Devoted fan of Major League Baseball.
Wireless troubles?
My phone works here, not there. Same with voicemail, email.
Sprint is different. All your services work the same wherever you go, on the most complete, all-digital, advanced wireless network in the nation. And all the calls are clear.
So everything works.
And this will never happen again.
PCS from Sprint. Try the nation's most complete wireless network.
Ever notice that local news seems a little rushed? Every story kind of chopped up, cut into tidbits, leaving you empty and wanting more. The way I see it, you deserve a closer look, and I hope to bring that to you.
What did I get myself into?
Closer Look is about people.
So you think it's easy being an FBI agent?
Issues.
It makes for an explosive debate on a sore subject.
And examining every possible angle.
Anybody in there?
So you'll not only see what happened, you'll understand why.
Take a closer look with Mark Zapelza on Fox News Chicago. When the morning drive is a daily grind, get on the fast track with Fox News and Traffic Pulse, Chicago's most accurate traffic reporting system.
We have an accident here.
With Air Fox in the sky and Traffic Pulse on the ground, you'll steer clear of trouble spots.
Give yourselves about 40 minutes.
With enhanced video and graphics that pinpoint road delays real time. When you need to get there quicker, one news choice is clearly better. Fox News and Traffic Pulse.
Marlins bat, bottom half of the fourth inning. No score in the game. Mike Lowell to be followed by Jeff Conine and Alex Gonzalez. No runs, no hits for Chicago. No runs, 2 hits, and 5 men left on base for the Marlins. Hudge must have missed breakfast this morning.
Is he pounding down a subway there or what?
It looks like it.
Being relaxed.
Shot into right field. A base hit by Lowell. Just his second hit. And this his second start of this LCS. 3rd postseason start overall. Conine walked his first time up.
I think Conine should take a shot to try to cheat, get out in front of one of those sinkers and pull the ball hard down the left field line. Get a little bit later in the count, you have to deal with the slider of Zambrano.
Oh, and almost hit him up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Both of these pitchers pitching as we expected them to pitch in Game 1. And that's based on watching them pitch during an entire season. Zambrano, a 13-game winner with an ERA of barely over 3. Slider, and he went around.
Oh. Wow. Conine very upset about that. I think he should be. Look at it from the side. Don't even say it, Al. That's not a swing.
No, I'm with you. Most of the time, a home plate umpire is going to get help. How can he see the ball through the zone and then also see the swing? He's got 2 eyeballs going different ways.
Slider down and away. Swing and a miss by Conine, who has a few words as he exits stage right for Larry Poncino.
This is the slider we talked about late in the count. Watch Conine's rear end. Going towards the Cubs dugout. Going down to try to reach that pitch too far and out of the way and out of the strike zone.
Now Alex Gonzalez, he hit the ball sharply off the foot of Zambrano. Carlos picked it up and threw him out to end the 2nd inning. Big time turnaround for Zambrano and Beckett here in Game 5 after disappointing efforts in a series opener. Zambrano has not pitched well in either one of his postseason starts so far this year. Beckett had the real good game, albeit a loss against the Giants. And then the Game 1 start in this series. Zambrano, see his first 11 starts after the All-Star break. Arguably the best pitcher in the National League, and that includes his teammate Mark Pryor or Kerry Wood or anybody else. But then his last 4 starts, including the 2 in the playoffs, an earned run average better than 8.
Serious stare downs going there, huh?
Guys pitching inside, throwing those 2-seam running fastballs in on the hands of hitters. Up around the head of Sammy Sosa. Can get a little testy.
And then you paint the black on the outside corner at 95 with the next pitch.
With tail. He's off the plate and then on the corner.
He's done a very good job of throwing the 2-seamer away and having it come back and nipping the outside corner. Kind of a backdoor fastball.
Maddox-esque.
Yep.
Check swing and a miss. 4 strikeout of the game for Carlos Zambrano. 2 away in the inning.
Interesting to see if Zambrano feels any need at all to protect Sammy Sosa and not hit Beckett with a pitch, but throw him the same type of pitch, a little bit in on his ribs, off the plate, inside, just to say, we know you're out there. You want to go in, we'll go in.
That's why it's always fascinating when guys pitch in the American League and then come over to the National League. It's a very, very different ball game when you've got to step in that batter's box. Popped up into foul ground. Pedro Martinez, of course, used to pitch in the National League. Gained the reputation of being a quote-unquote headhunter. Now he's over in the American League. And he can run it up and in on guys, much like Roger Clemens. Not the same kind of reputation, but certainly a guy that will pitch in. They never have to worry about stepping in that box.
Well, those two guys have hit more hitters than anybody else. Said it before, and I think I would agree with this, that when pitchers pitch inside, they want to miss him. They don't want to miss out over the plate. So occasionally you hit a guy. You're not trying to hit guys, but it is part of the game. And if you hit them, you know, big deal. Take the base and keep playing.
3-2 now to Josh Beckett.
Especially added to that with most hitters today being divers, guys that are either a little off the plate and like the ball out over, so they dive. Hard to get out of the way.
Bouncing ball, diving attempt by Grzelcyk, and he throws, and on to third goes Lowell. A base hit on a 3-2 pitch by Beckett, and they're on the corners with 2 away. That was an excellent at bat by the pitcher Josh Beckett. Unlike the 2 batters in front of him, Conine and Gonzalez, he would not chase that breaking ball down and away.
This is a nice try, great try by Grzelcyk, and then Randall Simon is telling Grzelcyk to try to go to third base with the ball. He knew that Lowell took the turn and went to third because Lowell thought that this ball got through. On to third all the way. Grzelcyk might have been able to hop up and throw the ball to third, and you may have had a play there.
The Marlins have already left 5 men on base in the first 3 innings. And now they have 2 on, with 2 out here in the 4th. Juan Pierre is flying out to left and singled to left. Ball and a strike. Pierre, the toughest hitter in the major leagues to strike out. Only 35 of them all year long. That pitch in the dirt, 2 balls and a strike, and we bring that up just simply because of the fact you got to believe he's going to put the ball in play, and when you put it in play, anything can happen. See, the Marlins have not done well with runners in scoring position today or in the series. The Cubs have been fabulous.
Ramirez still in at third, trying to take the bunt away from Pierre. Most people don't think about a guy bunting in this situation with 2 outs and a guy's on first and third, but it's what Pierre does best. And in my opinion, right now, where Ramirez is playing Pierre, that is not taking the bunt away from him. If he wants to bunt the ball, he will and can. Drop it right in there, and you would never get Pierre.
Ball 4 to load him up.
Was that kind of an unintentional, intentional walk? Didn't really want to give Pierre, a guy who swings the bat very well. Castillo, of course, hit over 300 as well, but I would think right now at this point, in the series, Pierre's a little more of a dangerous hitter than Castillo has been.
No doubt about it. He had 200-plus hits and one of the best hitters in the National League, and Thom said he doesn't strike out a whole lot. Games like this, when you're facing a very good pitcher and a guy who's on, like Beckett is, again, I don't want to keep saying it, but it's not just a run early in the game. It could be a loss. You have a very good hitter. You mentioned Steve. Ramirez is in. Very easy for a very good hitter and Pierre to go to left. You have to pitch to him. That's good. That's fine. Larry's coming out, calming him down. I don't mind him continuing to pitch in a 2-1 slider, 3-1 slider, 3 walks him on a 3-1 slider.
Saw Dave Veers cranking it up in the Chicago bullpen. The Marlins down 3-1 in this best-of-7 series. They have them loaded for the second straight inning.
It's not likely because Castillo likes to go the other way. But if he gets out in front of a Zambrano pitch and hooks it down the right field line, it'll score all 3 guys easily, and Castillo will end up with a triple.
0-1 pitch. Off the plate in. A ball and a strike.
Castillo is an opposite field hitter. All the outfielders shaded the other way. Look where Sammy is. You hit a ball down in this area, you can run for days.
Bases loaded. 1 ball, 1 strike to Castillo. That one caught the inside corner. Strike 2.
You see how that is not his game plan. That would be the pitch to hook down the right field line, but Castillo staying with his own game plan, going with his strengths, and he thinks that is getting something out over or on the opposite side of the plate to hit it in the left field.
Check swing and a miss, and that'll end the inning. Zambrano for a second straight inning works out of a bases-loaded jam. We're back after a word from your local Fox station.
October 30th on Fox.
Honey, here's the Ford Explorer I told you about.
Wow, did you see that Ford Expedition?
Explorer is the best pick by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, and it's got a family entertainment system.
Expedition does too. Plus, we get 0% for 60 months or $4,000 cash back.
On Explorer, we get 0% for 72 months or $4,500 cash back through Ford Credit. Plus, current Explorer owners get an extra $1,000 cash.
Honey?
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Matching colors, or is that pushing it?
If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again. These folks did.
Next time you think about going to Florida, think Southwest Airlines. Right now, fly nonstop from Chicago Midway to select cities in Florida for just $79.
Now free to move about the country.
I'm David Navarro.
And I'm Tamron Hall. Monday on Fox News in the Morning. Has Mancow gone too far with his sexier version of the Rocky Horror Show? He joins us live.
And shaping a pro athlete, Cubs star Eric Karros reveals his secret to his success.
Let's get an inside look at the new Joe Millionaire.
Watch Fox News in the Morning, Monday morning at 7.
This angel doesn't work for Charlie. Angel Weekends.
On Fox Chicago. When the morning drive is a daily grind, get on the fast track with Fox News and Traffic Pulse, Chicago's most accurate traffic reporting system.
We have an accident here.
With Air Fox in the sky and Traffic Pulse on the ground, you'll steer clear of trouble spots.
Give yourselves about 40 minutes.
With enhanced video and graphics that pinpoint road delays real time. When you need to get there quicker, one news choice is clearly better. Fox News and Traffic Pulse.
Welcome back to Game 5 of a National League Championship Series here on Fox. At Pro Player Stadium, many from Chicago and Cub fans all over the country have made the journey to South Florida, hoping to see What a Cub fan has not seen in 58 years. Winning a game to advance on to the World Series. No runs, no hits for Chicago against Josh Beckett. No runs, 4 hits, and 8 men left on base so far for the Florida Marlins.
You can sort of feel the Marlins knocking on the door to try to score a run to get this crowd going a little bit more, but back-to-back innings, they've left 3 men on base.
Now, Leiter talked about before this one got underway, both of these starting pitchers, after poor Game 1 outings, would go back to the drawing board, meaning watching video of what they did do well or didn't do well, not only from that game, but other games in the past. And then, of course, every team that's involved in the postseason sends out scouts to watch teams they might play in the playoffs, generally assigning 2 scouts to every team. Breaking ball up and in. 2-2. Clearly, Josh Beckett has gone to school here today and has brought his A stuff today. Fastball fouled away. 2-2 on Aramis Ramirez.
2 pitches ago, the big overhand breaking ball. You see the tumbling action of that spin. Guy goes 97 and then he drops a 78-mile-an-hour curveball on you.
Came back fastball. Ramirez, the only Cub to reach base in the game against Beckett when he drew a 1-out walk in the 2nd inning. Zambrano has allowed the 4 hits. He's walked 3 and hit about, but struck out 5. 3-2.
Well, what's he do here, Al? He likes to throw 3-2 breaking balls, but he just missed with that one. Same pitch. Come right back with it.
I throw the pitch that I feel most comfortable with, the best command, whatever that is.
For Beckett right now, that's old number 1.
He's thrown 2 curveballs in this at bat, and both of them weren't very good.
Missed with both of them.
Overthrown them.
The numbers from Game 1, the numbers today for Josh Beckett. This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And another fastball fouled out of play.
When hitters start doing this, to me, the confidence goes back to the hitter as opposed to me. Because I built up the count. He's fighting off the good pitch. He's not missing it.
So now do you come back with the breaking ball? Because you talk about either speeding up or slowing the guy's bat down. He just threw him 2 straight fastballs.
Well, he's hitting the corner, and he's still hitting it late. So if you trust that you can still paint on the outside corner, you throw another fastball.
He does, and it's tomahawk down the left field line. Foul. Ramirez looking dead red there, and he hammered that pitch. I don't know if you'll ever see a ball hit harder than that ball right there.
This one runs back in. Look at that thing. That almost knocked the wall down.
Let's see if this pitch is away. See, oh, it comes right back over.
Right back over.
Now, if that's a 4-seamer, He's getting underneath it, and he's overthrowing it. He's not tired. He better not be tired. 60 pitches in.
I'm sitting up here now saying, please throw the curveball. There you got him with the same pitch.
A little higher, a little further in.
Fastball up and in. That's a 7th strikeout. Now, Leiter, you talked a great deal about, as a pitcher, how you get ready for any game, and obviously this being a postseason game, and you brought up some scouting reports.
Well, we look at an awful lot of video to see what the guys are doing, to actually visualize it. But then there are scouting reports, and it kind of looks like this stuff here, but this would be the Randall Simon. The X area against right-handed pitcher, which Beckett is, you stay out of that zone, which most of the time, down and in and up and away, is the areas that you mostly try to stay out of.
Grounded. Called up by Lee. What a play by Derek Lee.
Knocked that ball down and then gloved it before it could get away from him. That big 6'5" frame. Look at this. You're not going anywhere. That's sweet. Beckett with a little scrape across the bag.
Finish on this, because obviously we didn't get to work the count, but you don't need to throw him a strike. He's swinging from the bench. He has a huge strike zone. Doesn't strike out much.
To Alex Gonzalez.
Here we see Beckett coming to get first base. Was worried that he missed it at first, so he scrapes it across the base, much like a shortstop would coming across on a double play ball.
Breaking ball down, loading Gonzalez. 1-1.
You know, we have talked about Beckett being able to get himself in trouble when he falls in love with the fastball, but I have loved today the way he has challenged guys when someone challenged him. Sammy when the ball was up and in, and Ramirez when he hit one 900 miles foul. He came right back and said, you're not hitting this one.
Think about it. Fastball.
Think about it, too. Most of the time, pitchers try to establish their fastball early and then go to the off-speed stuff, whatever it is, curveball, slider, changeup. Because of what he showed and did in Chicago with all the fastballs, he threw in reverse. So now we're his second time around. These are second at-bats against him. So now, unlike what you would normally do, he's coming back with more fastballs. He established the off-speed early, and now more fastballs.
Little flare into short right center field. The Cubs' first hit of the game.
This is a little jam shot. That ball's supposed to be away. It was in. Gets in on the fists of Gonzalez, and he just dumps it into right center field.
We talk about this all the time during the season. When a pitcher gets into such a groove like Beckett has been in so far today, he's only faced 2 batters the entire game pitching out of the stretch. Well, now he has to pitch out of the stretch. Al has had a big deal.
With 2 outs and Baco up, Gonzalez not a green runner, no. And you have the pitcher on deck. He's not worried about that base runner. A green runner is a green light. Think a green light, yellow light, red light. I would be a red light. So green light, basically they can go. They just go. If they get a good jump, they're going. Yellow is usually they'll get a call from the bench to get a steal if you get a good jump.
Want to know the count on Paul Baco. That ball driven into deep left center field, but there's a lot of room out there.
Shoot, I thought a yellow light guy was a guy who could run, just didn't know where to go.
This is what modern medicine was supposed to be about. Attending to patients, not to endless forms and phone calls. Now, a single company is providing information and services that simplify healthcare for more than 250,000 doctors and 75 million patients. WebMD. With WebMD, insurance coverage can be determined instantly. Charts can be accessed anywhere. Results reported, prescriptions written electronically, and claims settled with 1,100 health plans. And with WebMD, physicians can continue their medical education, even attend conferences from home. And patients can monitor their own progress as never before. At a time when the healthcare system can come between doctors and patients, WebMD is helping them to reconnect, and in the process, helping to redefine modern medicine. WebMD, modern medicine.
When you care about your car, you want to keep it protected. No one understands that like your State Farm agent.
We live where you live.
That's why more people insure their cars with State Farm than anyone else. Because we care about you the way you care about your car.
I think when I was younger, I just wanted to come up with a style of my own. The only thing I come with was the leg kick. It becomes a part of you. I live for this.
Watch the World Series on Fox beginning October 18th. Don't miss it.
This October, Fox is telling these beautiful European women that this $11,000 a year cowboy is worth $80 million in oil. We lied. Again.
And now to the best part, he's rich.
The next Joe Millionaire, an international affair. Monday, October 20th on Fox.
Doug Davis sitting next to Jack McKeon talking about Thom Brennaman and how hard he's had to work so far today.
What's that? He has thrown a lot of pitches. Yes, he has.
Get live for the wild pitch.
That's what you got to do with this guy. Make him throw.
92 pitches on the afternoon so far for Zambrano.
Zambrano has allowed 4 base hits. He's walked 3 batters. He's hit a batter. And the Marlins have stranded 8 base runners through the first 4 innings, yet to break through with a run. Part of the order for Zambrano here in the Marlin 5th. Rodriguez walked his first time up.
You wonder why Pudge is a catcher.
Liner picked up by Breslin. 1 away.
When Rodriguez was in Little League, he threw 7 no-hitters, 2 in 1 day. The kids were so afraid to face him, they made him become a catcher instead.
Our WebMD health report. Corey Patterson, the young talented center fielder, lost for the season. Tony Womack underwent elbow surgery. We've already talked a great deal in this series about the hard-throwing young right-hander A.J. Burnett. That one thrown all the way back to the screen.
Imagine being in Little League and being so good they make you switch positions because none of the other kids want to face you.
I mean, doesn't Pudge have to say, hey, that's their problem. That's not my problem.
7 no-hitters. 2 in 1 day. How does that happen? You're on. You're Josh Beckett.
Three and 1 now to Miguel Cabrera, who struck out in the first inning, was hit by a pitch from Zambrano in the 3rd.
Once again, a good hitter's count to maybe cheat and get out in front of one. Get your bat head out.
So he throws him 3-1 breaking ball, and it's ball 4. Let's send it back to Los Angeles. Here's Jeannie Salasco.
Well, Saturday's showdown was a smackdown. Today's rematch could be sloppy for a different reason. Rain and lots of it in Boston. Representatives from the Red Sox and Major League Baseball, including Sandy Alderson, several umpires walking the field. Right now, still looking to get things going at 8 Eastern tonight on Fox.
Look like Sherlock Holmes walking around that outfield. Jeez.
Derek Lee takes inside ball 1. Carlos Zambrano has been living dangerously here through the first 4 innings.
On 101 pitches now. He threw 102 pitches in his first appearance in this series, game 1.
The bottom line, however, the Marlins have not scored a run.
Based on his success, and this possibly being his last start, maybe he goes on in the World Series, pitch count to me is less important so long as he's getting the job done.
This is a pitch in Derek Lee's last at bat. It was the foul ball straight back with the bases loaded, which to me could become one of the biggest pitches of this game. A ball that he should have hit, didn't, and the Marlins still don't have any runs.
That one on the inside edge, knee high, 2-2. That's what makes Barry Bonds so much more amazing when you get a chance to watch him play with any regularity. When he gets that one pitch, they duck. That ball driven into left center field. Lofton going over to get it. And quickly back to first is Cabrera. Lee didn't get much of that pitch. It looked better off the bat than he really hit it.
And as you said with Bonds, it's amazing for 2 reasons. Because when he does get the pitch, he doesn't miss it, and he only gets 1 a day. Just off the trademark a little bit on that bat. It's a pretty swing. Just didn't get the bat head and square it up right.
1-2 out for Mike Lowell in this scoreless game. Last to the 5th inning. Under the knees, ball 1. Since 1987, only 1 time has a team trailed in the LCS 3-1 and come back to win the series. That was the Atlanta Braves in 1996. And the Marlins may have broken through. They have broken through. 2-run home run, Mike Lowell.
Slider right there to me. Ball had just backed up out over the plate. Lowell knew it as soon as he hit it. Hit 32 during the regular season. That's an odd pitch selection for a guy who broke his hand. To me, I'd stay hard stuff in on his hands. Prove to me that that hand is healthy, and then he can get around on a good fastball. That's a hanging breaking ball that he deposited into the seats. He hit a hanging splitter off of Guthrie in game 1 to win the game for the Marlins in game 1.
Again, it comes back to execution. Now, if that's a good slider going down and away, he had a 5-3 ground out to third with 2 sliders in the at bat, 3 sliders. He hit a fastball for a base hit to right in his second at bat. It's all about executing a good pitch. Zambrano threw 2 sliders there. The first one backed up for a ball, then he came back with another one, and it was right down the middle. You were talking about Bonds, about he doesn't allow pitches to get away, and he hits it. Good hitters don't let mistakes go by.
The Marlins having a lead, rare indeed so far in this series. This is their first lead since getting out 3-2 in the 7th inning of game 3. Fly ball into center. Lofton's got it. The Marlins on the board. And at the end of 5, lead game 5, 2-0.
Let's see, I bought yellow pencils, yellow Post-it notes, yellow boxers. Yellow boxers.
$14.
Land courier, air courier, pedicure, reader.
$137.
2 printers, 2 scanners, 2 tutus.
$540. Keeping business expenses separate from personal expenses? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Apply online for the MasterCard Business Card.
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamond, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you've got to go talk to your doctor.
Ready to try Viagra for the first time? See your doctor and find out if a free sample's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
Got some big NFL appetites heading your way? Looks like you need the NFL deal from Pizza Hut and Pepsi. Order any large specialty pizza at regular price and you get a medium 1-topping pizza and a 2-liter of Pepsi for just $1.99 more. A Pizza Hut pizza and a Pepsi. Gather around the good stuff.
So, how much software do you want to buy?
Mr. Moon is not here.
So, how much software do you want to buy?
Are you tired of pushy software salesmen? Buy software on your terms with Flex Select licensing from Computer Associates.
These are just some of the good things America's critics are saying about Arrested Development. It's the fall's best new sitcom. Hilarious. The smartest and sharpest comedy of this or last season. The funniest new comedy on the fall schedule. The question is not so much will it make you laugh, as how long will it make you laugh. Now, in an effort to give everyone equal voice, these are some of the bad things people are saying. Exactly. Don't miss what everyone is calling the best new comedy of the year, Arrested Development. Premieres Sunday, November 2nd on Fox.
Mike Lowell, an all-star this season, hit 32 home runs during the regular year. Has only made 3 postseason starts. Jack McKeon sticking with Cabrera at third base and Conine in left field in this series until the last 2 games. Lowell the game winner in the 11th inning of game 1 and a big 2-run home run in the bottom of the 5th here in game 5. Tom Goodwin will come up and pinch hit for Carlos Zambrano as Dave Beers continues to throw in the bullpen.
Even though the Marlins are down in this series 3-1, you can't really disagree with any of the moves that Jack McKeon has made. Put Lowell in the lineup to generate a little more offense. Put Cabrera out into right field to Encarnacion out of the lineup, who was struggling. And McKeon's getting out of that lineup what he hoped for.
Strike 3 called, and Goodwin knew it. 8th strikeout of the game for Josh Beckett. The emotional Carlos Zambrano. He has angered opposing teams at times. He said he wanted to try and temper down some of his emotions, but he brought him to the ballpark with him here today.
Well, if it works, keep doing it. If it helps you.
We talk a lot about that type of stuff in this postseason. I haven't seen Carlos Zambrano do anything that I thought was overboard whatsoever. As you mentioned, though, Al, does it help you or hurt you as you pitch?
Fly ball, Lofton McPierre. Even when the game was scoreless, Al, Steve, tell me if you agree. The way Beckett is going about his business today in the front 3 innings, even though neither team had scored a run, you just had the feeling in this ballpark and watching this game that this game belongs to Beckett here tonight. Now we'll see if it plays out that way. There have been very few balls hit well at all by the Cubs against Beckett so far tonight.
Ramirez, and it was foul.
You learn an awful lot from your failures, and really I don't want to think that his first game was a failure other than the first inning of just overthrowing. That's the anxiousness that you have in an NLCS and all the hype. He's just so calm and cool right now. And when you're thinking all the right things and everything is proactive and I know what I want to throw and your muscles are relaxed, you're loose, you have a good delivery, positive vibes.
Slow roller to Gonzalez. Had trouble getting the ball out of his mitt, but enough on the throw to cut down Bresolonic. Sosa left in the on-deck circle, and Beckett wearing him out through 6.
Hey mama, that's that beat that make you move, mama. Get on the floor and move your booty, mama. We the blast masters blasting up the drum.
Cutie, cutie, make sure you move your booty. Shake that titty, now the city out sitting on. Hey shorty, I know you wanna party. The way your body looking make me really feel naughty.
It's not just the advanced technology, the 57 patents, or the world's best blades. It's the way it's all put together. No razor shaves better than Gillette Mach 3 Turbo. The proof is in the shave. We guarantee it or your money back. Mach 3 Turbo is the world's best shave. The closest, the most comfortable. It's a fact. We guarantee it. Mach 3 Turbo from Gillette. The best a man can get.
Now enjoy Guinness anywhere. Drink authentic Guinness draft straight from the bottle.
I'm all about great meals in 30 minutes or less. Like today's savory mustard chicken baguette. It's so easy. You start with some fire-grilled chicken breast. Get a fresh warm baguette, lettuce, tomato, and a savory mustard sauce with seed from Madagascar. It's even quicker if you let Burger King make it.
Flavor from fire grilling, not from fat. The new savory mustard chicken baguette from Burger King. Come on over. The fire's ready.
What? Every cook needs a day off.
Hi, Jack, you look like hell. What did you just say to me? You were under with Salazar for 6 months. I know what they did to you.
Just mind your own business. I didn't lose a year of my life to arrest some drug dealer. Salazar does business with terrorist cells around the world. Bringing them down is our only objective. Are we clear?
Concerned about you, Jack. The things you did to get me here. You'll never be the same.
Open the door!
On October 28th,
someone close to Salazar is demanding his release. If we don't comply, he's threatening to initiate an outbreak of a very deadly virus.
This kid's walking around with a bag of cocaine and he's got the virus. I need to find him and stop him from putting it into circulation.
Chase, we got a runner!
The first wave of attack will be terror.
I think the cow singer might have been infected.
You are looking at a global disaster.
The last line of defense will be him.
Just do it now!
Kiefer Sutherland, 24. The season premiere, October 28th on Fox. Presented without commercial interruption by the next Ford F-150.
Aerial coverage of today's National League Championship Series game, courtesy of Saturn and the Saturn Light Ship. Keep your eye on the sky when the Light Ship visits a major sporting event near you. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Marlins lead 2-0, and now on to pitch for the Cubs, right-hander Dave Veers. Zambrano in 5 innings allows 5 hits, 2 runs. Struck out 5, walked 4, hit about it.
Marlins hitters are going to have to be even more patient. Veers' sinking fastball is about 10 miles an hour slower than Zambrano's is.
Popped up to Grzelcyk, one away. Chris Myers is in Boston. Let's check in with him for an update.
Tom, we're live here at Fenway Park. A steady drizzle. It's been raining most of the day. Joe Torre has just walked out onto the field behind me, kind of checking it out moments before Sandy Alderson, Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations, with the umpiring crew chief Tim McClellan, and officials from both teams, and umpire supervisor Steve Palermo all walked the field completely. It's been covered most of the day. The outfield a little bit damp, but a lot of it has been drained. Now, the front that moved through, they thought would push through here within a couple of hours, so they'll make a determination. They're going to talk to both managers and club officials whether they should push forward or not in this game, and we're here to keep you posted. Let's go back to Tom and Steve.
Chris, thank you very much. Chris, very busy all day today, following the story of all the events which took place, especially those in the Yankee bullpen at Fenway Park during Game 3 yesterday. That guy got off on the wrong turn.
Yeah, but he'd be getting wet right now if he was home. He's catching some rays down here in South Florida.
Good point.
It's like I'll go to the game today and then I'll watch the Red Sox on TV later on. Hey, that's another version of baseball head.
Swing roller by Beckett, and Peters will throw him out. Quickly 2 away. Let's take a look at our in-game box score. Brought to you by AT&T Wireless. 5 hits in the game so far. The big one, a 2-run home run by Mike Lowell on a hanging breaking ball with 2 outs and 1 on in the 5th inning. His 3rd at bat against Zambrano. For the Cubs, not much to talk about. Only 1 hit, and that was a little flare by Alex Gonzalez with 2 outs and nobody on in the 5th inning. Pierre drops a bunt. Baco picks it up, plays it beautifully. You can't draw it up any better than that. We go to the 7th. 2-0 Marlins in front.
From executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
Why does it matter who our parents are?
Comes a provocative new series.
I want you.
His father is the district attorney.
Let's take him down.
Skin premieres Monday, October 20th on Fox.
It defies logic, boggles the mind, and rewrites the laws of economics. The under 20 grand Grand Marquis is thousands less than the average new car, including Buick LeSabre. Plus, it has more interior room and trunk space, and a standard V8 LeSabre doesn't offer. And now get the under 20 grand Grand Marquis for around $19,973. See your local Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
Ceiling fans do more than just cool. They can help cut heating bills by circulating warm air in winter. Come to Menards for big savings on quality Hunter fans. This 52-inch Wellesley fan with light in 4 finishes is only $88. Give your floors the rich look and feel of carpet by Monticello. Interior Dream or Reminiscent plush carpet with a 10-year wear warranty are just 99 cents a square foot. For great carpet, head to Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
I want free checking.
No monthly service fees.
No minimum balance.
Really, 100% free.
Like me. Come on.
How about free online bill pay?
Can you do that for me?
Free online bill pay. That'd be awesome.
I want to see my canceled checks online. In front of my computer?
A website that is totally understandable.
If I'm running a little low on my checking account, I'd like to get an email.
I don't want the minimum. Give me the maximum.
That's what I want.
Introducing free online bill pay from Bank One.
With thousands of choices, including movies, sports, and family programming, all on Comcast digital cable with HBO. Eventually, you'll need to get some sleep. Comcast digital cable with HBO. Just $34.99 per month for 4 months. Call 1-888-4-BEST-TV.
Sammy Sosa to lead things off here in the Cubs' 7th inning. Let's go back to the 4th inning when he had that pitch up and in. And, of course, it brought back memories of Sosa earlier this year getting hit on the helmet by Pirate right-hander Solomon Torres. This was a pitch earlier today.
Well, after seeing that picture, no wonder why Sammy got so mad. Really close to the coconut. Certainly going to get him a little upset.
The helmet didn't like it that much either.
Tapper down to third. Low, plenty of time. One away.
Sammy hustling down the line all the way. Ball down and away from Sammy. Tried to get out and pull it. Big bouncer to the left side. Very difficult pitch to pull. One down and away from a right-handed hitter.
Malou fouls it off. Sammy now 0 for his last 6 in this series since the 3-hit game here in Game 3. He was walked 3 times last night.
We talked about the starting lineup of the Cubs against Josh Beckett. .216 average. Today, 1 for 20. The guys in the truck had that graphic up before I could spit it out.
Lined into center field. 2nd hit of the game for the Cubs against Beckett. It's only a 2-run ball game, so now the tying run comes to the plate, and Ramirez will be the batter.
Remember, we talked about how uncomfortable he looks before he swings, but when he hits the ball right at point of contact, great balance through this, right through the swing leg, hitting right off of a stiff front leg, good power off the back leg, everything balanced out very well, head right on the high fastball, smacking that thing right back up the middle.
Ramirez, who had an 11-pitch at bat his last time up. He had a very good at bat his first time up when he walked. Of course, he hit that missile, and I mean a missile down the left field line that was just foul his last time up. Beckett wound up striking him out. Obviously, Alou and Gonzalez have base hits, but it's safe to say that Ramirez has had the best at bats against Beckett so far of any batter in the Cub lineup tonight.
Carried over from last night. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs in last night's ball game.
0-2 on Ramirez. Beckett the pause and a pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3 call. 9th of the game for Beckett.
This is good morning, good afternoon, good night. Paint fastball away outside corner. Overthrew a curveball, but this is a buckler. That ball out of his hand, it's straight down. They call it, say 12-6 from a clock. Look at that. It starts directly over his head and straight down. Unhittable.
Now Randall Simon, 0 for 2, had a hit taken away on a diving play made by Derek Lee back in the 5th inning. Simon, in limited playing time, has had a solid series. 5 hits, a home run, 4 batted in.
Look at this pitch, Tommy. This is the only way you can get Randall Simon. Actually, this would be the The only way you can get Randall Simon not to swing at the first pitch is to throw a pitch out almost. Way up and away. First pitch to him.
Threw it again, and he swung this time. Fastball up, and a free singing Simon swings and misses.
97 miles an hour. Now let this crowd get into it.
Steve, you've talked a lot about why throw it over the plate. If there's any batter in this whole stadium that you don't want to throw over the plate, it's Randall Simon. He is a free swinger.
He wanted to swing at that one. It was over Pudge's head.
Beckett knows.
Breaking ball rolled over to the right side. Inning over. Josh Beckett hurling a 2-hit shutout and leads by 2.
What can a train teach us about managing wealth? Everything must be properly connected. At Wachovia Wealth Management, we learn from the world around us and use our insights to lay out a clear path for you. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. Wachovia Wealth Management.
Infrastructure. Millions of miles of voice and data lines out there. Who maintains all that? Well, in a large part of this country, SBC does. Why SBC? Seemed only right since we built it in the first place. Whatever it takes, period. SBC.
John Lynch and his mom are coming to your home.
Hey, how you doing? John Lynch, how you doing? Very nice to meet you. Come in, let's go.
And they're bringing dinner. New Campbell's Chunky Grilled Chicken and Sausage Gumbo. Hearty chunks of savory meat, veggies, and rice.
What do you say I autograph?
Sure beats another frozen dinner.
Come on, check out the place. Can we play a little bit? Mom doesn't like me rough. Come on, you hit me a little bit. I'm sorry, Mom.
Have chunky soup for dinner.
That was great.
Make it Campbell's instead.
Dear Commissioner, Major League Baseball is great, but you know what would make it even more exciting? Instead of a warning track, how about a warning moat?
Here's a windup. He smacks a deep fly to center. Hayes is back to the moat.
He's wet.
Yeah, but did he hold on?
Well, that's the question.
He did. Gator got him.
That's good fun.
The fans love it.
The League Championship Series on Fox is brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Jack McKeon, a 72-year-old South Amboy, New Jersey native, in his first postseason as a manager. And with his team down 3-1 going into this one, we talked to him about what he would talk to his team about.
Well, we just remind them that, you know, there's been other clubs that have come back from a 3-1 deficit. And, you know, we've had situations where we won 3 in a row before. So, you know, it all comes down, like I said earlier in the season here. And in the playoff postseason, it's going to come down to pitching. And our pitching hasn't just been as sharp as it had been during the regular season. You know, they picked the wrong time to, you know, go into a little rut.
Josh Beckett in no rut here tonight. We brought it up earlier. A 3-2 times in LCS history since it went to a best-of-7 format. As a team come back trailing 3-1 to win a series. Only once since 1987. The Atlanta Braves came back from trailing 3-1. That was against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Talked many times during this series about how we've really appreciated Jack McKeon's style, his openness.
Pulled to the right side, and Breslonic throws out Castillo.
You know, after the ball games, too, a lot of these playoff games, the organizations will throw little parties out either in the ballpark or in a tent set up outside the ballpark here at Pro Player, where they have food and beverages for literally thousands of people that they will invite to come. And who was strolling through it last night but Jack McKeon? Say, hey, Jack, good to see you here. He says, what else am I going to do? Have a sandwich and then I'll go home.
Strike. It's been an amazing turnaround for this Florida Marlin team after Jack McKeon took over. He last managed in the major leagues in 2000 when he led Cincinnati to an 85-77 record and a second-place finish in the Central. In the air, left field. Did Rodriguez get enough? Yes, sir.
Keeping you in the middle of the field will do for you. When you hang a breaking ball or a split finger like that one, you'll pull it. His thought is to go the other way. Gets out in front just a little bit because of the less velocity on the pitch, and he hammers it into the left field seats.
Miguel Cabrera takes a breaking ball low.
Someone better work on a long-term deal for that guy. Signed a one-year contract here.
Served in the short right center, base hit by Cabrera. You can make an argument that somebody ought to look into a long-term contract for both the guys standing in that shot. Yeah. Both Rodriguez and Jack McKeon. He should have never been let go in Cincinnati. That 2000 season, that Reds team was decimated by injuries. The year before, he was the National League's Manager of the Year. The Reds won 96 games and lost to Al Leiter and the Mets in a one-game playoff. That's all for Dave Veers. A home run by Rodriguez has given Florida a 3-0 lead.
Get ready to laugh out loud with the premiere of Fox Sunday.
Hot damn!
Bart, you're not at school. Don't swear. I saw you sliding out the bar. First, it's Brad Pitt as you've never seen him before as Boomhauer's brother. On the King of the Hill season premiere, part of a full hour. Then, Halloween's not over till the Simpsons say it is. It's the all-new Treehouse of Horror, where horror becomes the Grim Reaper.
Oh, man, these seats suck.
Leave everything to me. Pardon me, coming through, rest in peace, you're dead, take a dirt nap, feed the worm. Part of a full hour. And Malcolm's Family hits Vegas with David Cassidy.
No song for you! Pass them up!
Plus, from Ron Howard and Imagine Television comes the premiere of Arrested Development, the show Time Magazine calls the fall's best new sitcom.
You love it here? I'm having the time of my life. Hey, T-Bone.
Big stars, blockbuster episodes, and the best comedies on television. Fox Laugh Out Loud Sunday premieres November 2nd.
Families.
District Attorney Thomas Rome vowing...
Noted adult entertainment mogul Larry Goldman.
Driven by ambition.
Why does it matter who our parents are?
Divided.
His father is the district attorney.
By forbidden love.
I want you. Let's take him down.
From executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
Well, can you imagine the press gets a hold of this?
Comes a provocative new series.
Tell your son to keep his filthy hands off my daughter.
Skin premieres Monday, October 20th on Fox. just got nastier. The Rocket outdueled Pedro as the Yanks took heat in Game 3. Now the Sox face a must-win. Game 4 of the ALCS next.
Josh Beckett rolling a 2-hitter, and his team has scored 3 times. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning on a beautiful night in Miami. The series indeed not over yet, despite trailing 3 games to 1. Marlins with a 3-0 lead, and now the former Marlin, Antonio Alfonseca, takes over on the mound. The one-time Marlin closer, the one-time Cub closer, got hurt in spring training, lost his job to Joe Borowski, and hasn't gotten it back.
Look out, Ozzie. That ball scalded past Ian, but he has such great hands, he probably could have caught that thing anyway. Boy, could he pick it. And what an influence he must be on the young infielders of this club.
A lot of talk, of course, back in Chicago about Ozzie Guillen perhaps being the next manager of the Chicago White Sox. Jerry Manuel let go at the end of the year, and Guillen, one of the finalists to be interviewed for that job.
Certainly be worse choices. Gets along with guys, communicates very well, knows how to play the game. Getting some experience now at the major league level as a coach for the last few seasons.
And that White Sox clubhouse over the last number of years could use a little enthusiasm and a few more smiles.
I think the one drawback that you may look at with
hot smash to Ramirez, and this will turn into a double play. That ball hit right on the nose and beautifully played by the Cub third baseman. Pudge plays long ball in the inning. We go to the 8th. 3-0 Florida.
Where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go? Where do we go now? Ba, 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 ba.
The powerful Nissan Altima, now with low 0.9% financing. Imagine how good it'll look in your driveway. The stylish Nissan Altima, now with 0.9% financing.
When Taco Bell first created the Zesty Chicken Bowl, we thought we'd freshly prepare them right at your table. We still freshly prepare them, just not at your table. The Zesty Chicken Bowl. Tender slices of grilled all-white meat chicken, seasoned rice, 3 cheeses, crisp lettuce, and fiesta salsa. Made right when you order it, so it tastes even better. For fresh-made taste, think outside the bun. It's the home of beer, football, cheese, and now Wednesday night comedy. Yes! This fall, Wisconsin is where the laughs live.
You're allergic to eggs.
Hey, pretty lady. Like what you see?
That 70s show and a minute with Stan Hooper.
Look, it's your head made out of cheese.
Holy Lord.
Wednesday nights, come for the laughs, stay for the cheese.
Damn it, Hooper, you're shredding us like mozzarella.
It all begins Wednesday, October 29th on Fox.
Ever notice that local news seems a little rushed? Every story kind of chopped up, cut into tidbits, leaving you empty and wanting more. The way I see it, you deserve a closer look, and I hope to bring that to you. What did I get myself into? Closer Look is about people. So you think it's easy being an FBI agent? Issues. It makes for an explosive debate on a sore subject and examining every possible angle. Anybody in there? So you'll not only see what happened, you'll understand why.
Take a closer look with Mark Zapelza on Fox News Chicago.
Josh Beckett climbs the hill, takes a ball, and lets it fly in the 8th inning with a 3-0 lead, strike 1. We've partnered with a Saturn Light Ship to bring you aerial coverage of today's game. We hope you're enjoying this unique look from high above Pro Player Stadium, the kind of sunset that Ernest Hemingway used to write about from his home down in the Florida Keys. Beautiful pictures from here in Miami.
When did you read any Hemingway?
Been a while.
Jeez.
But at least I knew he wrote about it.
I'm sure Mark Wagner told you.
Swing and a miss. Of course, we were hanging out with Jimmy Buffett last week in Chicago, and he has written many wonderful tunes. Watching the sunset in the Florida Keys.
With a margarita in your hand.
Parrot heads. Fins up.
Look out.
And a foul. That was not a fastball. That was a changeup that got away from Beckett. And I think Gonzalez realized that.
Well, let's see. Yep, changeup.
Al, isn't the reason a ball like that can get away like that is because you're putting so much pressure on the inner half, your first two fingers. It's trying to spin the ball, turn it over, and you can really push it towards the hitter.
10 strikeouts now in the game for Josh Beckett. He struck out 9 San Francisco Giants his first game in the postseason.
He's been throwing great changeups. Changeups, it depends where you feel most comfortable on the grip, but you want to get your power finger off the ball. So generally, this is called a circle changeup, where you take an OK and put your pinky finger on. And as a result of maybe either overthrowing or getting your hand underneath it, the ball squirts out. So it's basically try to stay on top of the ball and still throw through it. He's throwing some excellent changeups.
And you know what happens if you hang it? He gets whacked.
That's the best swing you've taken in years.
I've been waiting to do that for about 4 games now.
Well, this is without a doubt, and all due respect to Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor in this series, this has been without question the best pitched game in this series. And it's not changing. 11 strikeouts, which ties a season high this year by Beckett. His career high is 12.
Another changeup.
He is dealing. The late movement on that thing, running out of the strike zone.
Here's the grip. He's got his power finger off. He's inside the ball. You see the spin of the ball running away? Baco swings at that because about 2/3 of the way it looks like a fastball. It's about 8 miles an hour slower. You have to commit.
Talk about the numbers right here, a pro player for Beckett. 6-1 on the season with an ERA of 2.36. There's the pitch count now, just over 100 pitches. Dominating.
Pinch hitter Troy O'Leary fouls it back out of play. Now we'll take a look at our game summary brought to you by Nissan. Carlos Zambrano was living dangerously through 4 when the Marlins had left 8 men on base. They got the 2-run home run by Lowell to jump in front. And this Cub offense, flexing its muscles through this entire series, has been handcuffed by Josh Beckett, who now has a chance to fan the side.
Through the change up there, Al. Knowing how hard he throws, you come back with a high fastball, get the left-hander to try to chase one up. Change up again.
Still pitching. 3-0 in the 8th. Here comes a fastball. Outside corner.
Sharply hit with Castillo to backhand it. Inning over. Josh Beckett without a complete game all year long. 3 outs away from 1 here in Game 5.
Wow. Somebody's letting go today.
It's okay. I had Subway for lunch.
Subway, delicious low-fat sandwiches, so you can feel good about being good and okay about being bad.
It's okay. I had Subway.
Subway, good, so you don't always have to be.
E-server.
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 E-server. These are not normal servers.
They're better than that. They adjust and predict.
So you'll never see rats.
For systems like Linux and other types, too.
They love open standards. No kidding, it's true.
For big firms and small firms.
And those in the middle.
E-server's the answer to your business riddle.
They're flexible, bendable,
super reliable,
utterly viable.
Give them a tryable.
IBM eServer X Series features the Intel Xeon processor.
Important messages, reach out on the wireless service America trusts. AT&T Wireless.
The League Championship Series on Fox is brought to you by Radio Shack, official sponsor of Major League Baseball, by WebMD, redefining modern medicine, and by Subway, good so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh. Josh Beckett, 3 outs away from sending this series back to the Windy City.
Boy, in this day and age of the way the baseball is played, and you get to the 9th inning and you automatically hand it over to your closer. Jack McKeon, I got to think, isn't even thinking about taking the ball out of Beckett's hands today. We're running him back out there for the night.
Mike Lowell fouling out of play against a new pitcher, Mike Remlinger. 4th pitcher used by Dusty Baker today. Beckett gave up 4 runs in the first inning of Game 1. Wound up allowing 6 runs in his 6 1/3 innings. But he set the tone right from the get-go here tonight.
I see Josh is a little superstitious. A lot of guys do this, and I got some quirks too, but I bet there's one for every inning. Keep throwing up goose eggs, give me another bottle. I wonder if all those bottles are empty.
And then you've got to keep them there.
Keep them and stay away from them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't really see. Yeah, he's finished.
Wow.
What do we got there, Steve?
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And he's got 9 lined up.
And a candy bar.
Well, the water's one thing. You eat a candy bar every inning, you're not going to be built like Josh Beckett for very long.
I think that's one of those energy type bars that he's pounding down there.
Popped up into right field. Sosa comes on to get it. Major League Baseball is giving away World Series tickets for life and other great prizes. Winning hologram numbers will be announced during games 1 through 4 of the 2003 World Series here on Fox. Visit your neighborhood Radio Shack store for your chance to win. What a wonderful setting this has been. In the air to left field off the bat of Conine. It is 4-0 Marlins.
Career postseason homer for Conine. You remember on that 97 team, he was not playing that much. That's just right out over the plate. Those kind of pitches get hit hard, kind of a hanging changeup. Al, I'm pretty sure that's that same pitch that you hung right in front of me and I hit.
First pitch changeup. You're not expecting the guy to turn and burn on you like that on an off-speed pitch. He did leave it up high enough.
And that's why he could. He kind of leaned out over, pulled a ball that was semi away from him because of the lack of velocity.
For the three-game series here in Florida, 196,223 fans have come through the turnstile. Nearly 200,000. Amazing.
That's support.
And they finally had a few things to cheer about here in the final game of this LCS in Florida. They're hoping there are more games still to be played in South Florida this October. Tonight, just the second time the Marlins have faced an elimination game in any postseason series, and we brought it up last night. The only other, Jeff Conine was wearing a Marlin uniform. Game 7 of the World Series, a win over the Indians.
Mr. Marlin.
And Billy the Marlin in better spirits. Off the end of the bat, short center. 2 away. All right, which World Series would you like to see the most? You logged in and logged on, our Sprint Virtual Manager question. And overwhelmingly, Steve, as you speculated, people out there want to see the Cubs and the Red Sox.
Not these 65,000 people.
Standing ovation, and why not, for Josh Beckett. What a sensational game he has pitched here tonight.
And if you're looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, who he's going to have to face, the top of the order will come up. Lofton, Grzelcyk, and then Sammy Sosa.
Crowd chanting Beckett, Beckett, Beckett. Only 23 years old. Brought it up earlier, the second pick in the country in the first round back in June of '99 out of Spring, Texas.
I think that's why he's a pretty good hitter, too, because of his youth. You think when he was playing high school baseball, he'd let some DH run out there? No, he was swinging the bat. He's still used to it.
Drawn a walk. Been on base 2 times in the game. 2 out, and now Juan Pierre the batter. Pierre has been on base twice, has singled and drawn a walk. To the left side, and that'll end the inning. Steve mentioned the Cubs have a top of the order coming up against Josh Beckett, trailing in Game 5, 4-0.
Maybe I don't own a fancy building or a big shipping department yet. But Brown still takes my business seriously. I can print labels, track shipments, order a pickup right from here. And with the time I save, I can build my business. Maybe I'm not exactly part of the limousine set, but I have a driver.
Small business shipping, synchronized. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
You live a lot of your life between 0 and 55. No one understands that like your State Farm agent. That's why more people insure their cars with us than anyone else. Because we think car insurance should be as much about you as it is about your car.
Got some big NFL appetites heading your way? Looks like you need the NFL deal from Pizza Hut and Pepsi. Order any large specialty pizza at regular price and you get a medium 1-topping pizza and a 2-liter of Pepsi for just $1.99 more. A Pizza Hut pizza and a Pepsi. Gather around the good stuff.
Gina, check this out. I'm sitting next to your new boyfriend. Don't you just love your new boyfriend?
I do love him.
As long as you're happy.
Picture mail that talks from Sprint. At Sprint stores, choose from a wide selection of picture phones starting at $99.99. Share it when it happens.
The wait.
I would never do anything to her, Marissa.
Is over.
California.
The summer's biggest sensation is back on a new night.
You're sending me to a mental institution.
The OC returns Wednesday, October 29th on Fox.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Josh Beckett going to the mound, working on a 2-hit shutout and a 4-0 lead. Now, Leiter, you said before the first pitch was ever thrown that Beckett had to throw something other than fastballs to be effective here tonight, and that he has done.
Well, he certainly learned from his first game. Right from the start, he threw 13 of 30 pitches that were off speed. That was a changeup. Beautiful curveball here, 12-6er, straight over the top. Another changeup, off speed. That was a 3-2 changeup. Another curveball, 12-6er. So he established early that he's got to use all of his pitches, even though he touched on 100 miles an hour tonight.
And how about that breaking ball? Bend it like Beckett. Because that is a big bender.
Kenny Lofton pops it up. Playable for who? Lowell to come in and get it. Josh Beckett now 2 outs away from the first complete game shutout in a league championship series game since the big unit. Randy Johnson threw a 3-hit complete game shutout against Atlanta on October the 16th of 2001 in Game 1 of that series.
I think you guys would be surprised as I am that this series here has had a championship series record for home runs between these two teams. Something I would not have thought would happen.
And we have more games to be played. It's starting to look more and more play, 1-1. You start looking ahead, although the Cubs are not done yet here in the 9th inning. We know that Mark Pryor is getting the ball for the Chicago Cubs. We do not know who is going to start the game for the Florida Marlins. Jack McKeon said, I'm not even going to look that far. We've got to worry about today, and has not at least announced a Game 6 starter. Al, any feelings as to what direction you might go?
Well, I think you go with your hot hand, and Pavano has been awfully good all year, and even in this postseason as a reliever, he's been pretty dominant. And nothing against Penny's stuff, but I think he's going to go with Pavano.
On the ground to second, you look at Carl Pavano, who in this postseason has pitched in 5 games, 4 2/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts and a walk during the regular year. He made 32 starts, won 12 games, and had an ERA a little over 4.
Brad Penny was the Game 2 starter that struggled, but you also can make the same type of adjustment that Beckett did in this game, because he has outstanding electric stuff as well.
0-1 to Sammy Sosa.
Only difference when a pitcher loses confidence, you lose a little bit. Penny's division game against the Giants wasn't nearly as good as what Beckett showed.
The Florida Marlins, and out away from sending this series back to Chicago. And Beckett here in the 9th, rushing it up there at 95. The numbers get a little better when you run it to 3-2. Tapper to short. Cub fans have waited 58 years to get to the World Series. They will wait 48 more hours to have a chance again. Josh Beckett denies the Cubs a chance to win it here in South Florida with just simply an electrifying Game 5 performance. I'm not sure you can throw a better game than Beckett threw here tonight.
You're talking about coming up big. He certainly did.
How about under the circumstances? You lose, you go home. Tremendous start.
Talk about mental toughness. Mental toughness is exactly what he was able to do tonight. Eliminate all the exterior distractions and focus on the Cubs lineup.
Look at the top of the lineup for the Florida Marlins. Still did not improve that dramatically. You got the big home run balls out of the middle of your order. Rodriguez. Mike Lowell with a 2-run shot, and then Conine late in the game. There's all your runs.
Beckett, a complete Game 2 hitter, walked 1 batter, struck out 11. Well, the Cubs still lead 3-2, but the collar may be a little bit tighter right now.
Well, you got Mark Pryor going in Game 6. That's the guy that they're looking for to come up big for the Cubs.
Let's go downstairs to Josh Lewin.
All right, with Josh Beckett, guys, and Josh Beckett ends up striking out 11. In the very first inning, Josh, it seemed like you really set a tone. Kenny Lofton strikes out a lot different than what was going on back in Chicago.
Yeah, you know, I just wanted to. That's what you got to do in the first inning. That's what you're trying to do, is get out there, throw strikes, and set the tone for the game. Excuse me.
Setting a tone with Sammy Sosa as well. That at bat in the 4th inning. Tell me about that, because you threw 100 miles an hour after he yelled at you.
Well, you know, it was pretty ignorant. I'm not trying to hit him, and I wasn't trying to hit Gonzalez. I know the fans get into that stuff, and it's tough, so I'm not trying to hit him, you know. It's pretty simple.
Congratulations. Good luck in Chicago, Josh.
Thank you very much.
All right, on the anniversary of Livan Hernandez striking out 15, this guy got 11, fellas.
Tommy, wasn't it great to see Beckett choke after the game was over there instead of in it?
Took the words right out of my mouth. The coordinating producer of Major League Baseball on Fox is Michael Weissman. Today's game produced by Jeff Cowan, directed by Jim Lynch. Our associate producer is Carol Langley McDermott, the associate director Larry Lancaster, and our broadcast associate Kevin Dresser. Our technical producer Craig Marlowe. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producers at Fox Sports are Ed Gorn and David Hill. For Steve Lyons, Al Leiter, Josh Lewin, and our entire crew, Thom Brennaman saying thanks so much for being with us. Jeannie and Kevin standing by from Los Angeles in a moment. We're going back to Chicago. The Cubs lead 3-2, not over yet.
Over the last 10 years, Fox NFL Sunday has been America's #1 pregame show.
I think that might be one of my favorite outfits.
Somebody come here and stop my head.
This isn't exactly what I expected.
Fox NFL Sunday, next week.
Monday, October 20th, a sexy American cowboy with a fake American fortune is going to take the women of Europe for a little ride.
He's estimated to be worth about $80 million.
Would Fox lie to a group of innocent foreign women who've never heard of Joe Millionaire? Oui.
Now to the best part, he's rich.
The next Joe Millionaire, an international affair. Monday, October 20th on Fox.
It began last summer.
He's not a criminal mastermind. He's a kid who has nowhere to go.
It became a sensation.
We want you to be part of the family.
Where it's going is anyone's guess.
You're sending me to a mental institution.
The OC is back on a new night with all new episodes.
We're always one mistake away from someone taking you from us.
The OC returns Wednesday, October 29th at 9 on Fox.
When you're smiling, when you're smiling, when you're smiling, when you're smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. And when you're laughing, oh, you're laughing, when the sun comes shining through, keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles with you.
Laugh Out Loud Sunday premieres November 2nd on Fox. Eliza Dushku will find her true calling. Thursday, October 30th on Fox.
Well, it is not over for the Marlins and the Cubs, and it never seems to be over in Boston. We have a weather situation to share, and after all the fisticuffs at Fenway, it seems to be Mother Nature who may have landed the knockout punch. Joe Buck has more from Boston.
Jeannie, I do. Thank you very much. At Fenway Park, it has been raining all day. This field is a sloppy mess. We are about to get official word as to what the status is for Game 4. And then, of course, the questions after that. What are the repercussions and how will the pitching matchups follow from here on out? But right now, to get the official word on what's going on for this Game 4, let's check in with Chris Myers.
All right, we're here live. Sandy Alderson, Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations, has stepped away and said he didn't want to officially cancel the game with the fans here, but it appears the game, at least at this point, even though the rain has stopped down on the field, has been canceled. And we will get word from him after he speaks with each of the managers once again. They walked the field earlier, Sandy Alderson, with the umpiring crew. Each of the managers walked it, Grady Little, Joe Torre by themselves, gave them feedback. And again, even though the rain has stopped, it rained all day here. The tarp over the infield, but the outfield, Nick Johnson came in and said the water is standing out there over your feet, and the conditions would be too dangerous. So the game at this point canceled, postponed for today. Joe?
All right, Chris, thanks. Welcome back to the broadcast booth. As you look, is let up for the most part, but the field, that's the question. Should I just walk on? No, I'll come back in. What does this do for the rest of the series? I guess that's the question. If this game is officially postponed, and evidently that's the situation, really it would play into the Boston Red Sox hands. And when you think of it, Joe Torre, when we asked him about 2 hours ago, if this game is rained out, what does that do to your pitching rotation? He said nothing. Now, obviously, that is subject to change. If he changes his mind before tomorrow rolls in, then so be it. But he is going to stay with David Wells. What does it do on the other side for the Boston Red Sox? Part of them were hoping that this game, once it started raining all day, wouldn't happen. Why? Because now they can skip John Burkett. They can have Tim Wakefield go in Game 4. And then what would have been the travel day on Tuesday now is a game day. And that means that Derek Lowe, who's been very good here at Fenway Park, could then be moved up and pitch here at Fenway before the series would shift back to New York if necessary. So that's the situation, and let's go down to Chris Myers, who is standing by again. Chris?
Yeah, Joe, again, Tuesday, we're getting official word here from baseball's Executive Vice President Sandy Alderson that it will be a 4:18 Eastern time, so that's a Tuesday afternoon start here at Fenway Park. Tuesday afternoon as the series shifts because of the weather problems. Joe?
So we thought we would have official word. The answer is it is postponed. There is no game here tonight, and so we will take a little break. There is no baseball to be played at Fenway Park tonight. We will see you tomorrow night on Monday night from Boston. Until then, so long.
On this ship, something terrible is about to happen. The Bluth family will become poor. Courage.
WeatherNet is made possible in part by the generous support of Jiffy Lube.
Tonight, through the use of the sports machine, another miracle finish for the Chiefs as they remain undefeated. A spectacular crash down in Texas ruins the season finale of the IRL. I'm George Michael, recalling how the Angels became baseball's unexpected champions and made World Series history. Tonight on the Sports Machine. Mother Nature decided to do what baseball could not. That is to give the Red Sox and Yankees a cooling off period. Rain forced postponement of tonight's Game 4 in the American League Championship Series. Considering the ugly events of yesterday, a day off may be just what the series needs. And speaking of rain, it was not Mother Nature, but the Florida Marlins who rain on the Chicago Cubs parade. The Marlins used great pitching, the home run ball once again, shut out the Cubs, stay alive, and postpone, at least for now, the Cubs' long-awaited trip to the World Series. Let me take you down to Miami. In the top of the fourth, there's no score, and this guy is 23-year-old Josh Beckett. He's working on a masterpiece, a two-hitter. He's working to Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa, high, tight, inside, goes down, and Sammy is furious. Says, man, as good as you're pitching, you don't need to do it. What is this stuff? It takes Pudge Rodriguez to bring a calming influence. Sammy was one of 11 strikeout victims for Josh Beckett. Pudge said, I swear to you, my friend, he was not throwing at your head. Top of the fifth, still scoreless. Randall Simon of the Cubs, a hot shot headed for right field. Derek Lee, a diving stop to knock the ball down. Then to recover, the flip to Josh Beckett. The Marlins did everything right today. The Cubs never had a runner in scoring position in this game. Then the bottom of the fifth, there's no score. Mike Lowell, who won Game 1 with a homer, that one's going deep. A two-run game-winning home run off of Carlos Zambrano. The Marlins would shut out the Cubs 4-0. Once again, it's Mike Lowell, the hero. Andrea Brody visited with this 29-year-old guy that everybody in Florida just loves.
George, after missing a month of the season with a broken hand, Mike Lowell was the Marlins' forgotten man. Yet he emerged in this series to be the hero of Game 1, and his decisive two-run homer tonight was even sweeter, considering he didn't even know he was starting until he walked into the clubhouse today and checked the lineup card.
Yesterday I went 0 for 3, and Jack's kind of been flip-flopping lineups to see which works. And when I saw it was in there, I was thankful. You know, he still had faith in me, so I was just glad that I came through for him.
And now that you have a little time to reflect, you know, you look back on tonight's performance, your own performance, how big does it feel for you?
It's huge, you know, because our backs were definitely against the wall, and we came through this first test. I mean, we got 2 more big games that we're going to try to win, but we got to stay focused on just concentrating on the next game at hand. I don't think you can look past Game 6 and try to force a Game 7. We got to win Game 6, and it's going to be tough.
Tonight, the Marlins stave off elimination, but the Cubs still have a 3-2 lead in this series and a chance to clinch Tuesday night at home. In Miami, Andrea Brody for the Sports Machine.
All right, Andrea. Meanwhile, in Boston, there was no game tonight, rained out. This is yesterday. Manny Ramirez fined $25,000 for this right here, where he pretends that the pitch was thrown at his head, which it most clearly was not. He's fined $25,000 for that. Then Pedro Martinez, who took Don Zimmer and threw him away like, oh, man, I don't believe he did it. He's fined $50,000. $50,000. Don Zimmer got fined $5,000 for going out onto the field. Of the 3, the most apologetic, who do you think it was? Yep, the most apologetic was Don Zimmer.
I'm embarrassed.
what happened yesterday. I'm embarrassed for the Yankees, the Red Sox, the fans, the umpires, and my family. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry.
A very upset and apologetic Don Zimmer. Game 4 rescheduled for tomorrow night at 8:15. Red Sox Yankees at Fenway. Just ahead, the Carolina Panthers are the winners in a showdown of unbeatens. And here's tonight's Pfizer trivia question. Who's the oldest manager to win a World Series? Joe Torre, Tommy Lasorda, or was it old Casey Stengel?